go. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Here we go. Are we live, people? Oh, yeah. SPR says we are live.
Hold on. Let me turn that down. Okay. There we go. There we go. My bad. I had it.
All right.
I'm good.
Awesome. Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Your only friend, these YouTube streets, Porter Rock 77. And we are back. What episode was it? 333? I think it's 333. Is it? Yep, 333 of the 60 Frames No Lag podcast, where we talk all things gaming from PlayStation to Xbox, Nintendo, PC, industry stuff, and all the good stuff. Maybe some off-topic conversations every now and then. You know, who knows the stuff. Oh, my boy Champagne Poppy saying Mike sounds amazing. It's sounding good? Fine, I finally got it right, didn't I? Finally got it right. Am I wrong though?
It does sound good.
You got it right. You know, finally a lot better than the you know, man, you know what, I'm not gonna talk trash on the Blue Yeti. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I gotta retire it. It's just gotta get retired. But listen, this thing's been with me since 2017, maybe 2016, 2017, 2018. When did my wife buy me this? It was for Christmas. I think it was 2018, maybe 2017. And at the time, you know, it did what it had to do. It did good. You know, I had it this whole time. I had it the whole time in Germany, right? I know that's right, because I went to Germany in 2018, but I was using it in North Carolina, so I had to say at least 2017. So I had it since 2017. The whole time I was using it in Germany. When I moved here in California, I've been using it, but I guessed over time the mic quality and stuff just elevated. Everything elevated in YouTube, right? Everybody's mic game went up. You know, it's time for me. I had to move up. You know, I couldn't play on the PS4 no more. You gotta move out. You know what I'm saying? It's like you PS4 gamers. You guys are holding out. You gotta jump. You gotta make the jump. You know what I'm saying? You got to make the jump to something better, right? So, you know, finally took it serious. I said, you know what? I'm going to do it, right? So I got the Vocaster 1. Then I got me an XLR mic. And, you know, and little by little, I'm going to fine tune it, right? I mean, there's a little tiny, you know, things here that I can fine tune, whatever. But overall, the voice is good, right? But, you know, there's a little tiny imperfections. Now I could fine tune the stuff, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna do and stuff like that. But anyway, enough about me. Yo, Craig, what you been up to, man?
Just trying to stay cool. We've been under heat advisories for most of the last 6 weeks. Was able to do some things on Saturday. Went and saw the movie F1. I recommend it. It's better than Gran Turismo. So it's just like a step above Gran Turismo. The filming, that thing's gonna be nominated for cinematography. So
really?
Just make sure y'all go check that out if you like racing. It's high octane. It's fun to watch. It's a good, you know, introduce some new people. So make sure y'all go check that out. But yeah,
is that movie this era's Days of Thunder? Remember when Days of Thunder came out when we were young?
Yeah. It's see, I think Days of Thunder was a little bit better. Yeah,
like the impact Days of Thunder had, Tom Cruise and NASCAR. Now all of a sudden everybody loves NASCAR.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no, they make you understand that kart is just they have no spending limit. You know, it's just you know, whoever wants to spend the most money, you can just keep throwing money in. So David Letterman talked about that as far as when he had Danica Patrick as his driver. He's just like, you just can keep. There is no limit, you know. New technology comes out, you test it out. But it's the movie itself. If you go to the right theater, go to a theater that really specialized in sound, so you all can enjoy it. But it was a good, fun movie. Shout out to Brad Pitt. The guy just makes fun movies. They're not the best.
He does,
but they were just fun to watch. It is fun.
He does have good. Oh shit, what's going on, J-Dub?
Oh, what's that?
Hey, it sounds like I came in at the right time, man.
Yeah, he heard F1 movie and he just jumped in.
Yeah, I heard. That's the back symbol, man, for J-Dub.
And what about next gen saying he getting death threats now?
Yeah,
Oh,
ever since that what's her name, Laura Ferry. Ever since she,
Fire.
yeah,
yeah,
fire.
Lord Fryer fried him.
Yeah, ever
Yeah.
since she made that statement, if you agree with it, you finna get attacked. So
Oh man.
I don't even
Oh
know what she
man.
said, really. Oh,
You
yeah,
haven't you ever seen that? Oh, we'll talk about that.
I
We're
have
gonna
not.
get there.
yeah,
We're gonna hit that. We're gonna hit that up. We're gonna hit that up. She preached the truth
yeah.
anyway. All right. So what you been up to,
I
J
know,
Dub?
right? Same old, man. Man, I've been on some. I've been delivering a bunch of packages and stuff, and fighting some BTS and Death Stranding too.
Nice, nice.
Um,
That game,
I took my
yo,
sons.
that opening
Uh,
sequence. I was like,
Oh
oh, it's
man.
crazy, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that shit's
Wow.
Kojima,
crazy.
bro.
Them,
Kojima, bro.
bruh.
Did you do the camera? Did you all switch the
Mm,
camera when you was walking?
okay.
When you that opening scene, so no spoiler here, the opening
Yeah.
scene, did
Mm.
you all
Oh
switch the
yeah.
camera angle? You can pull the
Yeah, yeah,
camera
yeah.
back.
Well, yeah, you
It's
can.
crazy.
Yeah,
Oh, I couldn't believe that. You can see the thunder and other thing. You can
yeah,
see the lightning in the back.
yeah.
It looked effing phenomenal. I'm like, this is the best looking game I've ever seen. Well, it don't
Yeah.
look as good as
Mm.
Mass Effect, but this is one of the best
One
looking games I've ever seen.
one thing during the first game, I try to tell people, if you the first game, if you get through if you can sink in 5 to 6 hours
Mhm.
into it, then the game opens up. But you got to struggle through it, and that's the way
Yeah.
Kojima decided to make that game. It's the
Mhm.
effort. But there's set pieces. Once you're coming over a mountain after you done got into a big fight and you're successful, you come walking down a mountain and that music kick in. It's just it's so surreal. And it was the same thing. The opening scene of Death Stranding 2. It's
Yeah.
just the music kicks in at the right time. It's the right soundtrack. And it gets you in your feels, and you like, man, this fucking game is something special.
It's
So
crazy.
I like
Yeah.
he was able to mix the graphics with the gameplay, but the music is like just as important as the graphics in the gameplay. Most games, you don't really care about the soundtrack, you don't really care about the music. It's just there, right? It's
That's
just
true.
there. But this here plays an intricate role in how you embrace this game and how this game makes you feel when you're going through this stuff. It's crazy because sometimes the music can kind of get scary in some of those scenes, especially when you get in, you walk, some BTs around, then you kind of feel like, oh shit, some shit finna go down. And man, Kojima, again, he knocked it out the park again. So I've been playing that game. I took my sons to see F1 last week.
What'd you think about that movie?
I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm a big racing
Oh
fan. I'm a
wow. Yeah.
huge Formula One fan. So
Yeah.
I like how they got Lewis Hamilton to help
Yeah.
them. They got him to help them get through the movie and make it believable. Because
Yeah.
most movies, if you're into motorsports, it's 99% just fluff. It's all fake. It's
Yeah.
all none of it's accurate. He
Yeah.
made it where it was pretty accurate. Obviously, they had to do some stuff for cinematography effects and to give you the effect,
Yep.
but and a lot of aspects, especially the car, the terminology they used, um, how they was driving the car, it was accurate. It was really accurate.
Well, the
And
way they have
Oh.
to pass, that's what really surprised me. The way they have to pass an open wheel is not like NASCAR. Because NASCAR, you can kind of bully your way around the
yeah,
track, like Dale
well,
Earnhardt used to
in
bully people.
Formula One, you use DRS, and
Yeah.
that is
Oh, it was
because the
so
car
good.
is so
Yeah.
light and so fast. You open up the rear wing, you
Yeah.
can, that gives you another 15 miles per hour
Yeah.
on top of the person that's in front of you. And so you keep doing that back and forth. So there's something called a DRS train. And it's basically you got the first car, and then the car behind him, he opens up his diffuser, and then the car behind him open up his diffuser, and everybody behind. And so you guys just gain an extra 15 miles an hour train going by. And so that way you can leave the rest of the pack. So in order to open up your diffuser, you got to be within 1 second of the car in front of you. And
Mhm.
in real world terms, in Formula One, that's like two regular car lengths
Mhm.
distance. So you have to be that distance in order to turn it on, in order for it to be effective. So those are the rules. You got to be within 1 second. If you're within 1 second, you can open it up, and that's going to give you an extra 15 miles an hour boost, and you get to go around the guy because you gain the extra speed. And that's how Formula One is. But Brad Pitt is a great actor. There's a reason he's one of the high. Him and Tom Cruise are one of the highest paid actors. He's a great draw. I like the guy that plays his counterpart, the younger guy. I like him in his movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, I got to see Toto Wolff. I got to see Lewis. I got to see Max. All the Formula One drivers. I got to see him in the movie. And if you're a big fan, you're like, oh man, there he is. There's such and such. There's such and such.
Yeah.
Um, and so for people who are not Formula One fans and not motorsports fans, it's just a really good movie. It's a really
Yeah.
good not
It was
Tom
fun to
Cruise,
watch.
but
Yeah.
Brad Pitt movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
If you
know,
like,
and
it's just fun to watch. It's not,
yeah,
I was saying it's not great, but Brad Pitt doesn't name one really great.
he don't make
besides
bad
Seven.
movies like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah. But
don't
he don't
make
really,
bad
they're
movies.
not great. There's movies aren't great. His movies aren't bad. They're just fun to watch. Like World War Z, when
Yeah.
I saw it in the theaters, I'm like, well, that movie was silly, but it was fun to watch, you know? So
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to them for getting that done. But yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoyed the movie. Go to a theater that specializes in sound.
Yeah.
Sound.
We saw it in
sound.
IMAX. We saw it in IMAX.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah,
Good
the
stuff.
movie is not that you can kind of really compare them, but the movie is better than Gran Turismo. If you enjoy Gran Turismo
Oh,
for what it was, really good
yeah.
movie. But this one has Brad Pitt in it, right? So I mean, it's yeah. So I know Porter right. He like, man, ain't nobody seeing that racing shit.
Y'all really want me to take my wife to the movies so we can
Yes.
watch cars do left turns for 2 hours?
Yes. Well,
That's
to
what
be
we
they
doing.
fair,
were
no,
on.
that's
It
NASCAR.
wasn't just
That's
left
NASCAR,
turns.
Porter Rock. Formula
what we
One
doing.
is left and right, brother.
We do
Yeah, they're
left
left
and
and
right.
right.
Oh,
Yeah,
so I get
left
double the
and
I
right,
get
right. You
so
get
double the
double the
pleasure and double the
Yes.
fun for 2 hours.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, listen, I know
Yeah,
your wife
roughly.
love. Listen, all women love Brad Pitt, so you can't go wrong, brother. All women
My
love
wife-
Brad Pitt. So
My wife will slap me if I take her to some shit. She'll
Well,
be like, nobody.
it's a
She'll be
love
like,
story in there.
she'll be like, no, she better be like, somebody better die. Does somebody flip in a car crash and die? Somebody better die in that
man.
movie. There's gotta be death, something. Like the car flips into the crowd, like it was Final Destination. In fact, take that same scene from Final Destination and just plug it in. I mean, hell, Michael Bay
well,
does
that
it.
makes sense.
He reuses assets all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
He does.
But we need to say somebody needs to die. My wife be like, "Who's dying here? Somebody gotta die."
Oh,
There's no
man.
way.
Hey, but
Oh,
I will
man.
tell you this: they got some crash scenes in there that are super realistic.
Somebody
and,
dies?
and the you would love the movie from the cinematographer aspect. The one thing I noticed, the cameras they
Somebody
used,
die.
they were pinpoint sharp. They were super sharp. I
Those are
said,
Sony
"Fuck,
cameras.
those cameras they're using is fucking crazy." I mean,
Yeah,
it was
Sony
just,
cameras.
it was
Right.
literally like fucking like 8K, 16K or some shit. That shit was super
We're
super
going
sharp.
to movies
man.
to watch professional bokeh. Okay, that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So we get left, right turns and bokeh. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. Extreme bokeh.
Oh man, yeah, that's what it is. It's bokeh.
That's what it's called, bokeh
Yeah.
or bukkake. I don't know.
Just-
Listen,
Oh man.
nah, we're not doing this. I'm waiting for Superman All Star. All right, I want to see some
Oh,
shit where the
man.
man flies and
Supposed to
punches
see that
somebody.
Thursday night.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody fly in the air and punch somebody into outer space.
man.
Right? That's what we go to movies
man.
for. All right? I want to see
Well,
some
some-
finger
some
snap
fighting-
and half of society disappear.
Some fighting happens
Right?
too. Yeah,
Listen,
there's
what
some fighting
fighting?
there too.
Ain't no fighting. Like
In
what, two
Formula
F1
One, there was some
guys?
fight going on.
What, two F1
Yeah,
guys fighting?
it was
They
some
be
fighting,
fighting like
man.
this.
Listen, you had
Get outta here.
love scenes, you have some
Oh,
fight
nigga,
scenes,
man.
you got some
Get
racing
wild.
scenes, you got some explosions.
Now, so you saw Brad Pitt's old fat butt ass naked. That's what it was.
Oh man,
Oh man!
man.
Oh
man.
man! My man. Oh man! He saw Brad Pitt's ass. Oh shit! He saw his area ass in 16K. Oh shit! Oh, he saw his Dinkle.
man.
Oh man, J-Dub's telling us go to the movie so we can watch some Dinkleberries. Oh man, no, I'm good.
Oh man.
No way, no way. No,
Oh,
I'm just
man.
playing.
Hey,
No, I'm
call
trolling. I'm
me out,
trolling. I'm
man.
trolling.
Call me
No,
out.
I'm trolling. No, listen, I'm talking shit, but like I enjoyed the movie Days of Thunder. That's why I mentioned it.
It's better than that.
A movie
It's
about
better
left
than
turns. But the best part of the movie was the wheelchair race. That's what got the movie going.
Oh man.
You know what I'm talking about? When they were racing in the hospital?
Yeah.
That's what made it good. All right. Oh man. Extreme. Well, we'll do hosting. Hosting. You got your food? You got your plate of food?
Yeah, I just finished
Let me
my
ask-
food.
I'm
Man.
good.
Yeah, what's going on with y'all,
Oh,
man?
how you doing, brother?
Man, you know what?
I'm good.
Being middle age is starting to catch up with me. Waking up at 4 o'clock to go to the gym and falling asleep at 10 o'clock p.m. Man, that shit is for the birds. It's not for me, man. But I got to just push on. Been going to the gym, working out, trying to
Good for you.
get back my strength. Yeah, get back my strength and shit. Like man, I'm
You just started?
getting back. I say about 3 weeks ago. So when I
Yeah,
first got in
you're-
there, I was
You're in the fatigue stage. You're gonna be fatigued. You're gonna be tired. It's gonna happen.
like when I first got back in there, I was struggling to push 185, but now, with being consistent, now I can start benching 250 again, which is good.
All right.
So that's as far as like physically. Tomorrow I'm taking off, man, because work is another thing that's just tiring me out. Just and going down to Ocean City, New Jersey, for tomorrow just to have a beach day, and what else? Oh. You know what? As far as games I've been playing, I heard y'all talking about Death Stranding 2, but I just went back to start playing Grand Theft Auto 5, man. I was like, yo, online, excuse me. I went back to playing Grand Theft Auto online because of, I did make a lot of progress with my character, and I did pick that game off for a year to play Helldivers 2, but I'm tired. I don't like Helldivers. I don't like their I don't like their setup, and that's just a lack of a better word for me to use. But it's like every 3 weeks or so, they're coming up with a new update. Whereas it's either you get you grind and get the credits to buy the next update, or to get the next level of a weaponry, or you pay the $10. And it's like, you know what, man, I really don't like that business model when it comes down to player versus everybody or live service games. Like as far as just keep on nickel and, to me it's nickel and diamond. So I decided to give that a break. Other than that, man, I'm good, man. It's good to be on the panel for a while, and it's good not to have to worry about, oh, I gotta jump off early so that I can wake up early at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work, so I can just bullshit.
All right, cool, man. That's what's up, man. All right. Extreme, what's going on?
Hey man, no, nothing much. Just chilling, hanging out, playing Clay Obscure again, as I should.
Right. Straight to the point. Like,
Well,
No Death Stranding? You're terrible.
nah, Death Stranding is like next year or something. I don't need to play,
Next
by the way.
year? Holy shit. You might as well play
I'm
the
not in the
PC
mood for Death
version.
Stranding. It's
You're
like
not
a
in the mood?
100-hour game. I'm not in
Okay,
the mood
it's-
for it right now.
How long is Clear Obscure?
You can beat it in 30.
Oh, really? Oh, like if
Yeah.
you just go straight through.
Yeah, if
No
you go
side
straight through, you can
quests?
probably 20 to 30. Yeah. There aren't
And
that
that's what
many
you
side
like,
quests
just-
anyway.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a straightforward RPG, kind of.
I mean, yeah, you can make it pretty much. I mean, it's big. It has enough content for like 70 hours, but you don't have
But is
to
it
go through
bullshit
all.
content? Like, is it like
No, it's great. It's amazing. Top 5
the
game of
extra
all time.
content? I think you're lying. I think you should, like, all right, the extra content. Give me an example of the extra content you don't have to do.
For example, there are these creatures that you can save instead of fight, and they give you side quests, which usually lead you to bigger boss fights. So
Okay.
there's that. And it has
Okay.
good rewards and more
Okay.
items for you to break the game with. So yeah.
It's all about breaking the game. It's all
It's
about
all
breaking
about
the
breaking the
game.
game.
All right.
I'm currently
okay.
at what is it? 40 million of damage.
damn.
But nothing
Yeah.
like nothing like the 1 billion though.
No, you can get one. I've got to the billion before. I just don't want to play with that because you just
Even
one shot everything.
even after the update.
Even after the update, you can do over a billion quite easily.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get my
that?
billion. You're not gonna cheat me out that. I want the game as it's originally released. I want the original release, flaws and all.
You know what? You
You know what?
you know what? I'm
It's
sure that's
authentic.
next year for you.
I
I'm
want
sure
the
that's next year
authentic.
for you. I'm giving up on you.
Okay.
What's authentic?
I'm playing Death Stranding, brother. You know, so right now
As
the
you
window of
should.
opportunity,
Why are you
the
thinking
window of
about it?
opportunity. What? Oh, I love it. Oh my God, it's fantastic. My God, Kojima is the god. Like I don't know how he does it, but the man is just incredible. He's really tapped into the pro. Oh yeah. Like I'll be honest, I can't wait for Naughty Dog and Rockstar because those are the only two I know that could surpass him. If there's anybody that can surpass Kojima, right, or has even a chance of surpassing Kojima, it's Naughty Dog and Rockstar.
What about Gorilla?
So I cannot wait. Gorilla. No, this
Forbidden West was better than Death Stranding.
This
when it came out.
better
than that.
Yeah. Well, I haven't played the PS4 version. Death Stranding, I played it on the PS4. And Death Stranding, I played on the PS4. Forbidden West, I played on the PS5.
Right.
So I didn't play the PS4 version of Forbidden West.
Right.
Right, so they already have an advantage. But Forbidden West DLC versus Death Stranding, I'm sorry. Death Stranding won. Death Stranding 2.
We know that. We knew that from the first trailer.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. These guys. So yeah. I would like to see Gorilla's, I guess, Horizon 3, but that might be a PS6 title.
I'm just saying they've been going back and forth, right? Like,
yeah, they're going back. But to be fair, they're not really going back and forth. They're not really going back. What it is Kojima fixes it, and then Gorilla just uses it. That's what's happening. They're just using what they're just using what Kojima did. He's like, hey, I can fix this. They're like, cool. We make Forbidden West. Then Kojima's like, let me get this. Oh, I'm gonna prove it more. Good. We'll make Horizon 3. Like they're just using what he built.
Oh man,
that man's a genius. All right, hey, before I get a podcast, I have to get this out of my chest because I don't know if you saw maybe 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago, maybe 10 minutes ago, while Jada was talking, I made this like the Cole Eastwood. Like, oh my God, I got news. Xbox might be outselling play. I made that face. The reason why I made that face, I'm gonna tell you. Literally, yesterday, I had a conversation not yesterday, like a couple of days ago. I was watching this show on HBO called The Outsiders. It's based off the Stephen King novel, right? The Outsiders. It's a good show. If you haven't watched it, it's on HBO. It's a series, but it's a limited series, meaning there's only one season, 10 episodes. That's it. It ends. So it's really good because it ends, right? But it's a 10 episode limited series. It's called The Outsiders. Basis. What ho?
With Pony Boy? Is it the fight the greasers with them fighting?
No, not that Outsiders. I know what you're talking about. Not the 1950. This is more of like not horror. I mean, it's kind of horror, but thriller. It's a thriller movie. In short, it's about, I don't want to ruin it. It's about a creature that replicates humans, right? And kills children. But the people it replicated are the ones getting blamed for the child murder because the DNA and everything matches. But they have evidence showing that they were in there. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy movie. It's a good movie. Anyway. So we're watching all this, right? And then I was talking to a friend that we were talking about the movie. And I don't know why, but what popped in my head was, you see a lot of remakes of movies and all that stuff. And I said to myself, you know which one movie I don't understand why they're not putting in the energy to actually make? Is The Running Man. You ever saw the movie The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
It's an old movie, right? But it's not really based off the book. It's a Stephen King novel also, but it's not really 100% based off the book. I think the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was convicted of a crime he didn't commit, and in order to get his freedom, he did this thing. But that's not what the book is about. The book was about a father getting into this competition to get money for his daughter being sick, whatever, right? And so I'm like, and like he gets money for every person he kills, for every cop he kills. It's called The Running Man. And I was like, yo, it's absolute bullshit that no one's attempting to actually make a good version of this book. So the reason why I made this face while I was doing a podcast, looking at the chat, right, getting everything set up, this shows up on my feed. This is crazy. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, what are the odds? So you know what, chat? We're gonna watch this right now.
Oh,
Right now,
man.
I'm gonna do a live reaction right now. This is my first time watching this, so get ready,
okay.
buckle up, because I literally was perplexed. I'm like, why aren't they making the actual real Running Man novel? And I get it. Stop filming me!
That movie was so sad. But maybe this will be.
Ben Richards, 35, married, one child, in medical crisis.
We need money for a doctor now.
Ben, watch yourself.
Employment status, blacklisted. But there's still a way out for you. It's the biggest show in the country.
Bloodlust is our birthright! Set it free! Welcome to the Running Man!
People on these games never come back.
I'm not trying to get myself killed, so kiss my ass twice.
Right there is why you can win this game. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days with the entire nation hunting you down. And get your family out of Slumside for good.
I'm gonna come back here and burn this building down. I promise.
That's the spirit.
This is America, goddammit! And we don't put up with no bullshit! Yes! Hunt him down!
Stop filming me!
Have you ever wondered if this game is rigged?
Guess we'll find out.
You might be moving up too fast.
Hey, buddy. You're on Freebie.
You better run! I got a grenade!
Back at you.
I'm still here, you shit eaters.
A little bit too comical for my taste.
Hey, big boys!
Oh. Looks like a
Are you
fun
crazy?
activity.
It looked like Monsters, the Hunger
Yeah.
Games. All this
It's a little bit.
dystopian-
It's a little bit too comical for my flavor compared to the book. The book was a little bit more serious and darker.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
You mean like the Hunger Games? The book was a lot more serious than darker.
Was it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you read the books in the Hunger Games is fucked up.
He didn't describe other than the book is fucked up. Like
Yep.
you know, the
And that's
movie
coming
made
from
it.
him.
This maybe no shit. When Extreme is saying, man, the book is fucked up. Like yo, like what? Like yo, I don't know that trailer, man. I'm like, man, it's a little bit too comical. The book is a little bit darker and more serious. Like you felt the tension. Like it was a father trying to save his daughter, so you can tell like a person like that doesn't joke around because your daughter's dying. You know what I'm saying? So it was more like as you read the book, it was more of a fatherly instinct. You know, this one, like, I don't know. The trailer didn't impress me. Sorry for putting you through that, guys. All right.
Hey, Rob.
Anyway, let's do the super. What's up?
Before you do super chats, I just have a question. Hey, I noticed in the chat there is more haters than usual. I know Trucknut is normally the main person, or Aaron.
Oh man.
However, I noticed some new ones. Did Gamester send some over his people to come in the chat and be new haters?
Some of them's probably him.
Mm.
That motherfucker has ults, bro. I never seen somebody have so many ults in my life, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So, hey, welcome.
Hey, that's how you know you got under a person's skin if they go to the
Like,
sock
yo,
accounts.
it's crazy, bro. That dude got some socks accounts, bro. I'm like, yo, that guy is well invested. Shout out to Glassdoor Gamer. Says Destin spiraling, Grigiti crew distraught, and Doc making up some BS excuse to cancel Game Pass while weak in Xbox land. Have a great show, fam. Shout out to Glassdoor. We got Brandon Holiday style with the super chat with the $20 holla. What's going on? My man Brandon said, I tapped out on the Friday stream just too long. Yo, we had like what, 5-6 hours? 5 hours?
6 hours.
6 hours, so it was
6 hours.
close. It was only 2 hours short.
I still feel shortchanged.
And so he wants the full 8 hours. He wants the full 8 hour
Hey,
broadcast.
listen, man. Listen, my internet works. I want the whole 8 hours.
Oh man. Holiday says finishing up my last Dynasty season on College Football 25 while watching the stream tonight. So I guess I'll see Craig when 26 releases. Oh, Craig. He said you've been ducking him, man. He said you've been ducking him.
I went to the movies. No, I went to the movies. He got in contact with me. I had been playing for like 4 hours, and we were like, all right, let's go see this movie. So, yeah. I told him to contact me. And he said he contact me in the morning the next day. And so, no, I'm not ducking. But the game 26 comes out, next week?
You're putting a lamester, dog. You ducking him. Stop ducking him, man. Play the man. Play the man. Play the man in some college football. Also, gotta go back under the knife this Thursday for me. Oh, brother, man. Many blessings to you, man. Our prayers are with you. So I guess you gotta play him before Thursday. That means tomorrow. And live stream that shit. We'll support. We'll watch.
I don't know if I can play tomorrow, but I'll try. I'll be home around 6.
You could play tomorrow.
I'll be home around 6.
You could play tomorrow. Yeah, 6 what? Eastern time?
Between 6 and 7:30 I can play.
There you go. Make this happen. Before you go under the knife, make sure you whoop his ass, Brandon. Right? Before you go under the knife, if it's the last thing you do, whip his ass. All right, many blessings to you, Brandon, man. Many blessings to you. Gordo P23. Just saw F1, great movie, but Ford and Ferrari still the GOAT of racing movies, in my opinion.
I agree. That was a real good movie.
That
was a good movie. The ending pissed me off, bro.
Ford versus Ferrari is the pinnacle of motorsports.
That exec pissed me off, bro.
Oh yeah.
That exec. You know what I'm talking about? The one that told them that to not win, wait till the other 2 racers.
Yeah.
So that way they could all ride at the same time, and then he ended up losing.
Yeah.
See, man, shit like that happens to the wrong people. I would be driving that car, and I would have my middle finger up. That would have been me.
Here's the thing.
Fuck you and Ford.
That's so accurate. That still happens to this day. Don't since you brought that up, I'll bring up 2021 season of F1. They screwed Lewis Hamilton out of his 8th championship.
Yep.
So in every race, right? If there is a crash and the safety car comes out, the safety car will keep taking you around the track slowly for so many laps until they've cleaned the track. So what happened was they made the decision to break the rules, and they say, listen, we don't want to finish this race under a safety car because it'll be too boring. We want to take all the cars that have been lapped, move them out of the way, and put the cars in their right positions, like first place here, second place, third place here. Well, that wasn't fair for Lewis Hamilton because, for one, Max Verstappen, he got to pit and change his tires, so he's on fresh tires. Lewis Hamilton couldn't, because if he did and they would have started the race, that would have put him behind, right? So he would have lost anyway. So they broke their own rules to try to say, hey, we want this race to finish in epic style. They did that race, and that cost them the championship. So basically they cheated. They went against their own rules. What they should have did is left everything exactly how it was and finished the goddamn race until the safety car was done, until the track was cleared, which it was 3 laps left. That means Lewis would have won anyway under the by just following the safety car. It was just with run the track 3 laps, the race would have been over. So they basically cheated him. It's the biggest debacle in racing history. And they've apologized to him and all kind of shit. The dude Michael Mancey, who was the head chief of F1 then, that he basically resigned or got moved to a different position, but it still didn't change the fact. Lewis Hamilton is technically he's a 8-time world champion racer, which is the most in history, but they cheated him out of that race. So now he's just a 7-time, which is not just that's still the best in history. So he's tied with Michael Schumacher. But Lewis has beaten every other record far, so nobody will probably ever catch him in this lifetime. But he's owed one. That's a stain on F1. That'll forever remain a stain on F1 because of that. All because some dickhead decided he wanted this race to be different from any other race. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. They were afraid Lewis was going to win his 8th championship that race and he was going to retire, which he probably would have. You won 8 championship, nobody ever touched you. You're the Michael Jordan of racing. Nobody ever touched you. He's probably going to retire and, do something else. So they snatched that away from him. Max Verstappen won that championship that year, and then it's really fucked because the following year, that next season, they changed the cars. So they had to basically start from scratch. So every 2 or 3 seasons, you have to build a brand new car from scratch. You don't get to use the previous car. You got all new rules and regulations, everything. So it's going to take you a season or two to get to adjust to the new car and to the new rules. And so they knew that. So it's like a double fuck. And so it's just man, it's just luck of the it's just that's what happens with motorsports. So FIA is the federation that sanction any and every motorsports racing. Anything dealing with racing, they sanction it. Those are the same fuckers that screw Lewis Hamilton.
Yep.
So in that Ford versus Ferrari, guess what? That was FIA doing that exact same bullshit, right?
Yeah.
They were doing the exact same janky shit, and they do it. It happens in everything, whether it's NASCAR or whatever. It's just whether it's GT, it's one of those things, man. And so
Yeah, but if I was the
yeah,
what's his name, the character that this dude played,
yeah, yeah.
what's the actor's name? Bateman. What's his
So
name?
you had Matt Damon,
Yeah,
and then you had Carol Shelby, the dude that played Carol
Shelby.
Shelby.
Well, Matt Damon played Shelby,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then you have the racer. What's his name? Batman. Fucking.
Yeah, the
What's his name?
What's his name?
Oh,
What's that guy?
So,
Christian Bell. Yeah, Christian Bell. Christian Bell.
Christian Bell. Yeah, Christian Bell played, and then the asshole that hated Christian Bell's character.
Yeah,
that guy pissed me off. If I was Christian Bell, if I was that racer, and they told me, "Hey, slow down, fuck you, I'm going faster," and I'm driving with my middle finger,
I would have won that race.
I'd be like, I'm winning this shit. Like, you ain't taking this shit from me. I'd be like, la 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 la. They would have signs. La 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 la. I'm dropping the hammer. Listen, I would have broke the transmission across the finish line. That's how fast I would have dropped the hammer on that sucker. You think I'm gonna slow down? This ain't about Ford. It's about me.
But okay. So here's the thinking behind it, Puerto Rock. And if you're a businessman, it kind of makes sense. The baby face is the person of the future. He's the one that everybody's going to know because his career is going to be longevity. This racer here, that's a very good fucking racer and a great mechanic. He's the old guy. He's like, you're not going to put him on billboards. You're not going to put him as the brand.
Are you talking about F1?
Yeah. No, on Ford versus GT. I was explaining to you, I'm trying to explain to you why they did what they did. It's fucked up. It's shitty. But
no, I'm just saying why did the racer listen though?
Because he's like he's
an idiot.
Dude, he's an idiot. This is what they pay for.
Listen. You're in the cockpit. They're not.
True, but it's their car. It's their money.
But no, it's their car,
call
their
the shot.
money, but not at that moment. At that moment, this is my bitch. That'll be me.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
That's how car you do it too. I'm like, yeah. But once I'm driving, who's gonna stop me? Nobody.
Yeah.
And once I cross that finish line, that's it. My name's cemented forever. The greatest ever. The man who beat Ferrari.
Something like that actually happened this weekend.
Yeah.
They told Lewis Hamilton to pit this weekend, and he was like, "I don't want to pit. I'm good. My tires are good or whatever." And they were like, "Pit." And he's like, "Why the fuck you guys want me to pit?" They wanted him to pit because they didn't want him to catch up to Charles Leclerc, his teammate. They wanted his teammate to finish ahead of him because his teammate has more points than him. It's all a fucking it's all a business shit. It's all business.
Don't give a shit,
like what happens on the track, it's all business related. And it's the racers, I know they get frustrated, they get tired, but these guys, you're right, they spend billions of dollars on this team. If they tell you to stop right before the finish line before getting first place, you're supposed to do that.
You're supposed to, but I won't. I'm a rebel. I'm a Tupac. They're gonna call me the Tupac of F1. I'll be like, fuck the world, don't ask me for shit. And I'll be like, they'll be oh man, all right, let's go. Next up, Glenzer. Xbox should have Mayfield the Running Man years ago. Oh man.
Oh
here
man.
we go. Oh Lord, they already tied in the movie. And then finally, SayingYou.com. Killian, here's your Xbox. Now playing L-Box. Who's Killian? Is it somebody in the chat named Killian?
What did he say?
He said, Killian, here's your Xbox. Now playing L-Box.
Oh, man.
SayingYou.com's throwing shots at somebody. Killian, are you in the chat? 'Cause my man's throwing shots at you. He did a drive-by. Oh, man. All right. Let's do a light topic. All right, let's get this going. We got Ghost with the most.
My brother Ghost.
You're not fly fishing or some shit? It's too hot for that?
It's crop season right now, so I'm getting everything all the hay and everything real.
He said it's crop season. He's like, I got work to do.
He's enjoying touching grass out there on that beautiful lawn, man.
He's out there touching grass.
If I had that beautiful grass out there, that beautiful scenery, I'd do the same thing, man.
Shout out to Ghost. Oh, he said he's out there touching grass, man. That's your backyard?
Look. Yeah,
this is the front yard right here.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm like, yo, that thing looks like my neighborhood park.
That's that beautiful country living, man.
This guy got a whole park to himself.
Hey, Ghost, you know what's crazy? The older I get, the more that's how I want that's the view that I want. But when I was younger, that I was like, man, I don't want to be. That's for old people. Now I'm like, oh,
yeah. Now you're old people.
I have the same.
Now I'm old people. I want to be out of the ranch and shit. Yeah,
you were right.
Yeah, now I'm old people, man. Look at that. It's just beautiful, man.
Now I'm old people.
I'll be doing grass angels out there. I'll be late.
I don't want that. I don't want that because
unless
I'm hiring a bunch of Mexicans, unless I'm hiring a bunch of Mexicans, that's a lot of yard cutting.
Nah,
that looks like a
John Deere.
No, right there. Listen, that there. Look at that. That there looks like a whole Saturday gone for me. That looks like a whole Saturday.
I forgot.
That shit looks like a whole Saturday.
You bought yourself a whole national park.
Bro, that shit looks like a whole. I see my Saturday gone once a month.
That's a golfing green. That's some beautiful golfing green. Look at that.
Listen,
man. The big beautiful trees.
So we just right here. I'm gonna say this. So everybody want to flex a little 50-90s, right?
Yeah.
He said want to flex the 50-90.
Look at that.
He's like, bitch, I can grow corn.
Yeah, he got his crop.
$2 million worth of wheat right there.
Facts.
He said, you got a 50-90, bitch, I grow corn. I got corn. A whole field of this shit. All right?
Facts.
You guys are enjoying summer barbecues, roasted corn because of me.
Yep.
I make your corn. I didn't sell that shit. You know, street corn, with the mayonnaise and the butter, me.
It's a long walk. It's a long walk back all the way back here.
No, that's your bro. That's a lot of that. Now it went from a whole Saturday to a whole weekend. Nah, dog.
Yeah.
I'm not giving my wife excuses to make me work weekends.
Oh no, I don't. That's what I got kids for, man. You know what I mean? That's what I got kids and employees for.
I don't got that. My daughter's 30. She ain't playing that shit. She'd be like, yeah, you better live in the Upper East Side.
Nah, but I'm gonna tell you this: the older I get, that's how I imagine. I'll probably work for another, maybe for another 10 years, just depending. I like what I do, so But as far as just like how I want to spend my days off, how I want to relax. Like that porch she got right there, man. I want me some sweet tea, some cold sweet tea, just sitting back, just enjoying, just quiet, peaceful. That is everything, man. And I don't know if that's a southern thing, but that's me.
I'm a city dude, man. I need the noise. I need the gunshots.
Nah, I do not like the. I do not want the noise, man.
No, I can't. I need the noise. I feel safe. Like if everything's quiet, I think of like horror movies.
Yeah.
So this property right here just is the grain farm. So we have like this year was wheat. We'll have soybeans, and then we'll alternate with corn and other. You know what I'm saying?
See? Thought I was lying. You got that corn.
Keep that soil going. Yeah.
My man out here selling corn niblets.
This farm feeds the cattle farm. So like they're kind of synergy. So like we sell our soybean, we sell our corn, but then a good majority of it feeds all so I have I think 190 head of cattle. I have 26 horses.
This guy's selling steaks.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
man,
if you want real meat, hit me up.
Bro. Oh man, I need them briskets. What's up? Put it on, man. Let's get them briskets going.
Me and a couple of friends we gotta go in on a cow, man.
Y'all talking, man. These PC guys,
a couple of families of meat. Yeah.
This guy got a whole cattle farm.
Shit.
But Craig, you're the closest to me.
Yeah.
We missing out, J Dog. My man got the brisket. Craig got the whiskey. What's going on here? Let's link up. Listen. I could chip in. I'll bring the sazon. You know what I'm saying? I got the adult. We'll season this shit up. You know what I'm saying? We'll party this shit up this summer. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. Don't worry. Extreme will bring the rum. What is it? The rum and
raisin
ice cream.
Rum and raisin ice cream.
Oh man, no, he won't, man. He not invited. There is no food from Australia.
You lost your invitation.
No, he's not. Him is not invited.
We're gonna tell Trump the night entry.
Listen.
The night entry.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell
no
Trump
food from Australia.
You ain't getting past the point. We're gonna Trump sees that rum raisin, he's gonna be like, get the fuck back. You're getting deported right back. Turn around. Go back to Australia. You ain't bringing that rum raisin shit here in America.
Yeah.
Oh man, you'll see Extreme Australian News holding a carton of rum raisin and why he got deported. He's like, I was just bringing rum raisin ice cream, and I got deported.
I was trying to teach him something, I'll say.
Oh, snap. Oh, man. He said, you're uninvited to the cookout. Don't be bringing that shit.
I'm a city guy, too, but what Ghost and J-Dub was talking about, man, that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
I'm
when I was younger, when I was y'all's age, I like to live in the city and the urban living. But as I've gotten older, kids, have gone away. And like I said, we have this farm and whatnot, but when you get older, you just want your peace and quiet. I don't have
peace
no
and
neighbors.
quiet, man. I'm there, man. I'm there.
So here's the thing. So I have a house in North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a. It's not nowhere near, but I got a 30-acre plot, right? So no neighbors near me. It's quiet. But here's the problem. We had that, while we were raising our daughter, right? And then as soon as our daughter turned 18 and she went to college, it was just me and my wife, and we looked at each other like this.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? We're like, what are we? Like, we had nothing to do. We're like,
yeah.
There's nothing happening. Me and my wife were going crazy, and that's when they got orders to Germany. Thank God we got orders to Germany. God looked out for us. I'm like, yo, we don't want to go through that again. Like, me and my wife, we still in the Latin clubs. Shit, during 4th of July, we're going to Great Adventure, or not Great, Six Flags. Me and my wife, we still do that stuff. Like, we're going to do it until our heart gives out. Like, we were bored. Like, because we didn't realize how, kids, they keep you busy. My daughter playing the violin, which she sucked at. She played volleyball. She was great at. A little bit of boxing, always kept her busy. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want her to end up getting pregnant over stupid shit. So always kept her busy. Always. All right, boy, that girl didn't have a day off for nothing. Always flooding her cheerleading camp, whatever. But once, she moved on and do her own things, me and my wife, we were looking at each other like, every weekend, like, guess we go to Walmart? I'm like, we can't live like this, bro. Like, we can't live like this. Like, we need,
man.
I need, listen, bro, I need to hear at least police sirens or some shit. Like, I can't do this. I need to hear something.
Man.
I need to hear the gunshots, the sirens. I need to hear people yelling like, you fucking bitch. Like, something, bro. Give me something. Yo, the neighborhood was quiet.
Man, true New Yorker, man.
Yo,
true New Yorker.
Walk out the door. I had an old neighbor. He was like 70 years old. His name was Alan. Awesome. I'm like, hey, Alan. How you doing? Nice to meet you, Maureen. He's like, oh, all right. Hey, how you doing? Go through the mailbox. Grab my mail. I'm like, this sucks. I felt like, like one of them mafia guys who had to get a new life under the FBI. I felt like one of those guys. Like, this can't, like, nah,
Hey,
I need something.
That's funny you say that, right? So one of my buddies, he's an expat. He came back stateside. He was living somewhere in Africa, and I was like, man, look, you can come, hang out with us. You get right, man. So he came to the house in Kentucky, and that's deep. Like, this is deep. And the house in Kentucky is deep. Like, he was like, man, who is you hiding from out here? Like, I was like, no.
Can't even get phone reception, man. Like, oh man, what's going on? I couldn't do it. That's why we're moving to Florida.
In order for us to have internet, the house in Kentucky, we had to supply internet for the whole town. You know what I'm saying? So we went ahead and just got fiber for the whole town.
This guy had to buy. This guy had to buy Verizon. He had to get shares in Verizon to get internet, bro. This guy, my man had to get shares. He had to buy shares in Verizon. All right, now put shit here. Now that I'm part share owner, get your shit here in this town. Verizon's like, we're not putting nothing. Verizon's like, we're not putting internet.
About the land.
Wow.
So like,
Verizon's
in Kentucky, we got like 600 some acres in Kentucky. We got another 400 here in Indiana. And here's the thing, we're only like 45 minutes away. So like my home in Kentucky is in Owensboro. And then this here is in Evansville, you know what I'm saying? And so we live on the outskirts of each one of them. And so we're pretty much on an interstate. So we get the trucks, we load the trucks up with, feed or grain or cattle. And it's just a 45-minute straight shot drive. That's the reason why we picked this town. And then of course, all the other property that we own, we have that we rent to like Menards and Lowe's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, man, my man pulled the Bruce Wayne, bro. That's like in the Justice League movie. Clark Kent asked him, hey, how did you get the house? He goes, I bought the bank. He bought the bank. He's like, here we go. The bank didn't want to sell me the house. Fine, I'm buying the bank. Like, oh shit. Verizon was like, yeah, we ain't putting Fios out there. He's like, cool. Let me buy some shares. Now you will put Fios out here. All right. Yo, that's wild. All right, and we got Champagne Pape. All right, thank you for being a member for 1 month. He says bot citing physical UK sales for DS2 down bad. Oh man, here we go. All right. So anyway, we're gonna do a little light work here. We're gonna talk about Yoshida. Yoshida out here, boy. He you know what? I think I could get him on my Friday Night Live. He's going everywhere.
I'm pretty sure.
Yo, my man's like, listen, I'm free. I'm gonna say what I want. But he says former PlayStation boss says $80 games are amazingly affordable. Now listen. I'm gonna say this right now. J-Dub, Ghost, you guys do not apply. All right. Listen, let me tell you something. This is the 99% conversation. You 1%ers, no, this doesn't apply to y'all. All right. This is for the 99%. All right.
No. Listen, for the rock.
Listen.
I've been an advocate against the whole $80
for
game
Nintendo.
move.
For Nintendo.
Well, yeah. The type of games they make. You know,
It's
no
like,
voice
you
acting, no motion capture, none of that shit.
No ray tracing, no,
Yeah.
no.
nothing. No
He's
voice
nothing.
acting.
They're like, get out of here.
Yeah, no voice
Oh man,
acting.
no dude. He's like,
That's what I
get in
wanna
there. No voice. There's still no voice acting. Like you saving
Yeah,
all
but
this money. No
even with
mocap. Where's my
PlayStation,
mocap?
yeah, even with PlayStation and Xbox, I'm against it because they started the generation with the game increased to $70.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're starting a new generation. I get it. Game prices need to increase for whatever. Games are getting bigger and better. Okay, cool. You cannot be in the middle of a generation, right? After we already accepted that contract and purchased our systems, and then going to try to raise it again. You're going to have to wait to next generation and do that. But Microsoft said they're going to raise theirs to $80, right?
And we're Outer
They're
Worlds.
gonna, yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they don't even make games that's worth $70. Let alone, remember their first $70 title was Redfall. Remember that, right? Their first next generation game was Redfall. And now their first $80 one was gonna be Outer Worlds. They don't want to sell. They don't want to sell their games. They don't want to sell. They're doing the shit like this, man. This is crazy. No, you got to catch me next generation. You can't.
Yo,
you know.
My man said they introduced $70 with Redfall. The fuck?
Yeah, that's
and
a
now they want
wrong
to. I honestly thought Microsoft was going to introduce Call of Duty with $80 because that made the most sense. Because people are going to buy it anyway, right?
Yeah.
But they introduced Outer Worlds 2. That wasn't even worth $60.
Rest in peace. That game is dead.
Man.
That's a non-starter.
Yo,
that game won't sell shit.
Yo, they are wilding out, bro. Yo, Outer Worlds 2 for $80. They're out of their damn minds, bro.
Yeah.
Even the PC version.
Exactly.
Yo.
But
I thought if people thought PC gamers didn't buy new games now, they haven't met the fury of the PC gamer. They're really not gonna buy nothing new.
Yep.
Oh man. All right.
So I think I'm not against it. Again, I'm not against it because of the price. It's the principle. I agreed 4 years ago, going on 5 years in November to be 5 years, right?
Yeah.
I agreed. Okay, this is a new generation, more powerful system.
Ray tracing, better graphics,
you got ray
DualSense.
tracing, you got the frames, you got everything. Okay, cool. That's an agreement that gamers can say, hey, I'm either willing to buy this console and pay these prices, or I'm not. But don't go halfway through and then you're going to try to jack the price up on us again, because that's not a part of that original contract. I already have the system. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm against it now. Now, next generation, like I said, with PS6, then that's another discussion. They can say, hey, guys, games need to go up to $80, $90.
You're going to get the frame gen.
Yeah, listen. Then people can say, "Nah, it's too expensive. I'm not going to get it. I'm just not going to buy a system." But that's when you do it. Before people buy a system, you don't get them to buy your system and then pull a
and then sucker them. All right, that's why, because you bought the system with $70 in mind.
Yeah,
but now they raise it to $80, and you're like, wait a minute.
Exactly. Even Nintendo. Nintendo did it, and we're against it, but at least they did it at the beginning of their generation.
Yeah.
They didn't wait halfway. A couple of years into the generation and say, hey guys, we know we told you games going to be $80, but now the shit going to be 90 or 100. Like, nah.
Oh man.
Let me ask this, would you have paid $80 for Death Stranding 2?
Yes, I would have.
and I ask that because I believe that there are certain games that if you know are just going to be that game, then you paid for it, right? And I me and P-Rock have joked, I believe games should be more expensive. Yes. That's there.
Yes.
But some of the fact is I believe that there are certain games, high level of quality, the feature, the next gen only.
GTA 6, right? GTA 6. We all said we would pay $100, $150 for GTA. We all say that. But you got to think about How many of those games do we get a generation? Like how many GTA games of GTA 6 quality or games of like Death Stranding 2 quality? We don't get much, right? There's only a handful of games throughout the generation that really just says this is a must. I will pay whatever. You see what I'm saying?
I'll say this. Yeah, certain games could get away with it. And I use get away with it because they're so impactful, so big. But a lot of games won't. Like, for example, if let's say Sony started $80 games, I wouldn't be buying Lost Soul I don't think that game's worth $80.
You see what I'm saying?
Like I'm kind of iffy for 70, but I waited so long and I'm interested. But if they announce Lost Soul for $80, I'd be like, nah, I'll wait for the price drop. I'm not buying. I'm not paying $80 for Lost Soul. You know what I'm saying? There's certain games that, you know, at a certain point, it's not about whether you have the money or not. It's whether is that game valued to that level, right? Grand Theft Auto 6, that's probably going to be one of the biggest games of the generation. So that game could probably get away with for $100. But that game is going to be like one of the biggest games of the gen. A Naughty Dog game like Intergalactic, again, right? But would I put Lost Soul aside or even Sorrows on the level of Naughty Dog and Rockstar? Hell nah. Some games would just, like here's the thing, the higher the price of the game, the higher the standard the game is going to have of that game. And some games are not going to make the cut. They're just not going to make the cut at $80. Some games, you know, what would have been bought at 60, maybe even 70, is going to get completely ignored at 80. They're just going to be like, yeah, I ain't buying that for $80. I'll wait for a price drop, right? And if a certain amount of people have that attitude, and you know, me and Craig were talking about this offline before we went live, right? We could, like the community could start talking shit about, oh, if you can't afford it, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Because in the end, it's going to be the game publishers and developers. They're the ones that's ultimately going to get hurt by this, right? Because if a person goes, you know, from, oh, yeah, I'll buy that game at 60 or 70, and then all of a sudden the game's being sold at 80, and they go, yeah, I'm not buying that. In the end, it's going to be the industry that gets hurt. It's not the gamer. Because the gamers will find other ways to get entertained. Especially now, there's so many free-to-plays, and then they'll just, you know, that might make people move to Game Pass or to a rental service even more when they normally wouldn't, right? But ultimately, it's not going to be the gamer. The gamers are not going to get hurt because there's always other ways to get games, whether it's through rental service, subscription service, or just downright piracy, right? They're going to find a way to play games. They're just not going to do it at $80. So in the end, it's the industry and the developers that get hurt, right? And then what's happened is they're going to, like the execs, they're going to blame the developers when they should be blaming themselves for hitting a price point that there's going to be people that's just not going to hit. Some people are just going to have higher expectation of a game. You know, if you're making a game and you think it's going to be $80, you might have to be that type of game that's on the level of a Naughty Dog. The way I see it, if you want to sell $80 games, then you better be Naughty Dog. You better be Rockstar. You better be a top player in the game. Don't be coming up with some middle ground bullshit. You better be the big dog. And most of these guys are not. They're not the big dogs to be doing that. That's just what I think. I think this will hurt the industry more because more gamers will be more selective. You know, that's just how it is. The more something is priced, the more people will observe the product that they're paying for. It's not going to be a freebie. And I think only the really, really big games will survive at 80, while the rest, people are just going to be like, I'm going to wait. I think more people will wait. I think there'll be less day one sales at $80 as compared to before. I don't know. But let me read Yoshida's article. For a long time, game price at $60, $70 have remained a standard in the game industry. However, with Mario Kart World $80 MSRP, other companies have started following the trend, including Xbox. Even former PlayStation boss believes $80 games are affordable due to the value they provide. Using Mario Kart's example, he noted that it offers numerous hours of gameplay with just one purchase. Why it matters. Fans aren't in favor of the inflated price tag as seen from recent poll, but they do say that they can make exceptions to certain games if they are worth it, like GTA 6. Speaking on the Kit and Krista podcast, former PlayStation executive Shuhei Yoshida talked about how game prices are one of the most heated topics of discussion right now. He defended the $80 games for their affordability and value. When you look at the value, the amount of entertainment a good video game provides, like Mario Kart 8, so many people play hours and hours and hours, right, with just one purchase. He did say that each game has its value, so you can't price every game at $70 or $80. There are even live service tags that can cost up to $100, but fans still buy them because they offer a lot of replayability. Although we're still seeing massive AAA games costing $70, especially with Kojima's recent Death Stranding 2, the trend is here to stay. Xbox has already announced Outer Worlds 2 at $80, and PlayStation is expected to follow suit at some point. All right. So we'll go around the horn. We'll do like around the horn. We'll start with Craig. What do you think about $80? Do you think it'll impact the industry? I think you're muted. My man already talking shit.
I'm not muted. I shouldn't be muted.
Okay.
This is real short. We talked about this earlier, and I don't know if people did not get the message. You know, when you get that update, that message, Sony sent the message out that said, "Get it ready," and that's it. You know, that's pretty much all I can say.
Sony said that?
They had a message, that I got. It said, "You all better start getting it ready." And that's what's going to happen.
Where you got that message from? Where you got that message?
It's on that little thing. What's it called? This little bell here.
Man, my
notification bell.
This guy on that grinder, bro.
It says. I don't know. It said about a week and a half ago to get it ready. And that's all you got to do at this point.
Listen here, Craig. I don't know what you're doing in your personal time, but this is a wholesome podcast.
It's not about me. This is about the message that I got.
My man on Black Planet.
I get it. I mean, $80 is coming.
My man, he logged in Black Planet. Is Black Planet back or something? What are we talking about? My man said, "Get it ready." Oh shit!
Oh yeah, it says it right here. Yeah, I got a message. But I've been telling people this for close to a year now. Everybody's complaining and whining. Your job at this point is just get it ready. That's it. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Yeah, the $80 is going to be real. I do agree. I think in the short term there'll be less sales. And I think peak sales of the game. I do think people will wait on sales like we're doing right now. You know, the buy two, was it 2 for $3 at Christmas time, something like that. You buy two, get one cheaper. But so yeah, I do believe we're going to see that. But overall, yeah, Sony has done a market-based study. And the market-based study came back, and they were like, "Yeah, you can go ahead and we can go ahead and have $80 games. The market will tolerate it." So it's interesting to see who wins this out, who wins out on this. But yeah, I'm like I said, I got my message a long time ago, and it said get it ready. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. What's going on? Well, all right, Judge the Brain. What's your thoughts with this $80?
You know what? I think you and J Dub pretty much covered it. I mean, to me, it comes down to two things. Number one, unless the game is actually worth it, then that game should not be charged, or rather, that game should not be charging $80 to pick it up. And as you guys already said, certain like I can see Grand Theft Auto people happily paying $80 for it. I can see games like me personally, is something like a Witcher 3 or a Skyrim or some other really good RPG was worth $80. I would buy it because I know I'm gonna get more than 80 hours out of it. If I was to put a dollar per hour basis, I know I'm gonna get 80 hours, more than 80 hours out of it. But other bigger games, I don't necessarily agree with all bigger games, because then to me, I don't think Madden is worth $80 or for that matter any sports game. So that's number one. Two, I think this could be a situation, whereas it could be, at worst it could be a fuck around and find out type of situation, or at best this could be a type of correction, just because of I understand a study was done, and I'm pretty sure that they're coming from a business perspective, but paying $80 for a game, I mean, I know back in even certain games back in the 90s was only $80. They tripping. I'm sorry. Unless I don't want to get into inflation and all of that, because I know that plays a part. But at the end of the day, unless it's a certain game that's actually worth it, I gotta disagree. People speak with your wallets. What's the saying? Money talks, bullshit walks.
Yeah,
speak with your wallet. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing with value is that's in the eye of the beholder. So
speak with your wallet.
Speak with your wallet. I agree. But like I said before, I said over a year ago, and I know I said it on this podcast, your job at this point is just to get it ready. That's it. And if you don't want something,
no.
It's okay if you don't want something.
No, man. No. Yo, stop with this chocolate thunder talk. Stop.
No, I'm just telling the truth.
Stop it.
Look, you're right, Brandon. You're right when you say you speak with your wallet. I agree. I agree 100%. If you don't want to go pay full price to see a movie, go to the matinee or wait for it to come out on streaming. Makes sense to me. But as far as what you need to get ready, as far as the economy and things like that, it's very simple. The games are going to go up. Sony raised the prices. I saw a report, and I'm gonna research it. I did see a report where it said Sony had raised the prices in South America. That is just the beginning. You know, like what did he say in Lord of the Rings? So it begins. So it's gonna happen, and all you got to do, you got to make a choice. And I agree 100%. Go ahead, and if you believe it's worth it, go ahead and get it ready. So you already know. Or if you want to wait for a sale, or like Brain said, wait longer. Wait for a double-digit sale. But so I don't disagree. But get it ready. Either way, you're gonna pay for it. You got to get it ready. I mean, it is what it is.
And
it is what it is, right? Bullshit. I agree. Money talks, bullshit runs a marathon. You're 100% correct. So you either are going to get it ready or you're not. It's totally up to you.
And then also, no, let me be clear. I agree with your points, except for the whole get it ready part, because I know what the context.
You better get it ready, dog. Better get
I know
that
what the
move
context
ready.
is.
He said, get that shit ready.
But to talk about something else that we said before, or rather what I said before too. At the end of the day, this is a luxury hobby. This is not a necessity. So with any other luxury, as Craig said, prices always go up. I think it just comes down to a point. Whereas, all right, it's either we, us as consumers, is either we keep up with it and we agree with it and we pay for it, or it's like, hey, you know what? This is my $80 is my threshold. I am not, I'm not spending that amount of money. I may make an exception for for certain games that I feel as though it's worth it. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's fine. Me and Porter White were just talking about that. The game like a 2K, because there's just people who only play that for the whole year. And maybe a Madden. The college basketball game is allegedly supposed to be announced here pretty soon for next year. So those games, I think, are the first ones to take the baton, so to speak. But I keep on trying to tell people, if they're already floating it from an executive level, it's going to happen. And I think we all understand that. So your goal is to either get it ready or not. It's just, it's up to you as a consumer to get it ready. You don't have to buy it. I agree 100%. And I agree with J-Dub. Hey, it may not be worth it to some people, but I'm under the impression and pretty stoked when I say I think Grand Theft Auto is going to be $99.99 for the base copy. And at worst case, you get the $100 ready. You just get it ready, and you're ready to go. If it doesn't cost that, that's a good thing. We all agree. Hey, I had it ready, and they get charged.
Craig's trying to make the phrase "get it ready" as if it's not even like we don't know what he means.
Money ready.
He's trying to say, yeah, right, okay, sure. Hey, Extreme, are you getting it ready?
Man. Why did you introduce it that way?
You getting it ready? I need to know. Are you getting it ready? Craig said he got the message. He says you need to get it ready.
Listen, this is a family-friendly show. I'm just going to move forward.
Family-friendly.
He's like, get it ready, because it's coming. Man. It's coming hard and fast.
Friday, I was making jokes about power chords. Okay, listen, I keep it PG. Okay, let's just keep it that way.
As long as you're ready.
Have a topic, right?
Yeah,
you have a topic, right? Yeah. Why are we talking about $80 games?
$80 because Yoshida says it's affordable.
Yeah, sure. Listen. First of all,
it's like right.
I will always say
get two
say
jobs.
What I say always, right? A company can charge whatever they want for the product. I don't care whatever the price is. And I will pay whatever I find acceptable. Okay, that's it. That is the agreement that you have with any business that ever sells anything. They can charge what they want.
You'll get it ready if you choose to.
Whatever you find acceptable.
So
let that
you'll get it ready if you choose to.
No. We're not making this part
to get
of
it
the
ready.
culture. We're not making that phrase a part of the podcast culture over here. Okay, I reject it.
You're gonna choose to get it ready, but you're choosing to get it ready or not.
Sure.
Yo, Craig, right? Craig's the only one that would do this shit. Like he just said, get that shit ready.
Listen,
though. Like,
you're
what
encouraging
you mean?
him.
Get what ready?
You're encouraging him. Now, that being said, the argument that if you break down the hours and then you look at the cost per hour of entertainment that you can get from a piece of product, it's okay, but it doesn't work on some levels. And in gaming specifically, there's 2 levels that it doesn't work at. Number one, gaming is the only medium where there's a skill check to how much of the content you can see and enjoy. No other medium on the planet has a skill check. Like, if you don't beat a certain boss in a game, you don't get to see the rest of the content. That's it. Like, no other medium has
So
that.
you're saying when you watch Lord of the Rings, you don't have to actually kill an orc to see the next.
I'm telling you, if you can't get past that thing, you don't see what's next. Like, imagine this: you're playing Clear Obscure Expedition 33, right? It's a linear game, and let's say that there's a tough boss fight, and for some reason you just suck at it, or you're not. Whatever the case is, you're not getting past that boss fight. You don't get to see the rest of the game. That doesn't happen. Books aren't like, if you don't understand this word, you don't get to read the rest.
Oh yeah.
Like, books are not like, hey, if you don't know what intransigent means, you know what intransigent means? Hey, you're not reading, it just wipes out the rest until you figure it out. It's like, you're not getting past this.
Get a dictionary,
we are not moving on until you can use this in a sentence for the next 5 days, at least 3 times a day. We need to know, you know the definition.
The book won't let
you
you turn the page. Like, I'm sorry, dog.
It's like,
nope. Nope. You don't know what this word means.
Yeah, you're not skipping over that. You're not skipping over that. You're not gonna pretend you didn't. You understood the sentence. You understood nothing.
So you don't get to read the rest of the story.
I'm telling you, it doesn't happen. So that's the first thing. That's always my first thing. Is like, well,
that's a good one. That's a good one. That is
I'm not getting the 80 hours worth of entertainment. You know,
like a lot of people get past the tutorial. If you can't get past the tutorial,
take a look at the original. Listen, Death Stranding 2. I don't know how Kojima did it. I don't know how he turned Death Stranding 1, a game that was like mocked in the streets for being a walking simulator, to then releasing another walking simulator, and now he's raised up to God status in the community. I don't know how that happened. Because I'm like, you know that both walking simulators, right? And I loved it. But listen, let's go back to Death Stranding 1. A lot of people couldn't even get past the tutorial because the tutorial was like 6 hours long. You didn't get to see the 94 hours that remained. That was it. If you were bored, if you couldn't make it past, that was it. That was your nothing else in that game existed for you.
That was the $60.
That doesn't happen in books. It doesn't happen in movies. You know? Like, listen, movies don't stop you. And it's like, imagine if the same thing happened in Tenet. Like, if you didn't understand the dialogue, you don't get to see the next scene.
Like,
none of us would ever see. None of us would ever go past minute 7.
I had to watch that movie like 3 times. I had to watch that movie 3 times. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? I don't get it. Yeah.
You know? Or what is it? The Batman what was the one with Bane? Like in Batman? Where he's like figured them out.
Rise of the Dark Knight.
Was it Rise?
Yeah.
Whichever, we all know the one, right? The point is, none of us understood at the cinemas what he was saying. None of us, not a single one of us, understood what he was saying. Okay? We just went with the feel of the sound, right?
Yeah.
Which is what apparently the director wanted us to feel. But the point is, none of us understood the dialogue, and there was no skill check. Otherwise, the movie would have ended. It would have been like, nope, 90% of you didn't hear that phrase. Get the fuck out. Come back and try again for another crew. No subtitles. We don't help you here. Listen, that's the first thing. The second thing is this. Every medium has an acceptable price range in the community's eye. For example, take a look at books again. A book, I'm talking about paperback, and I'm not talking about the special edition where they're only doing like 1,000 prints or whatever. Just a standard paperback average book. In the US, it will be between 10 and at the most $25, and that's really rare that it goes beyond like $15. But yeah, brand new book, even if it's from like a really famous author, like you were talking about Stephen King before, right? A brand new Stephen King novel will come between 10 and usually $20. 25 if they're really pushing it, and it's like a super big book. And that's it. Now, if you create a brand new book from like a Stephen King or a Brandon Sanderson or whomever, and you make it at $40 for the standard edition, guess what? Book readers are going to be like, I don't know, man. That's steep. That's a lot. That's a lot of a lot, you know. But the thing is, you can do the same game. You can be like, well, this book is thicker and it's going to take you 30 hours to read it. So it's going to be around $1 per hour of entertainment that you get, right? And there's no skill check. So you can skip over those words you don't know. But the point is that, again, there is an acceptable range. And we have the same thing in games, okay? Whether we like it or not, an acceptable range for a brand new game is between $30 and $60, right? Obviously, some are cheaper. Obviously, some are more expensive. But that is still where we are. Despite the $70 games this generation, most people are still at the $30 to $60 price point for a brand new game. Listen, $80 is way beyond that Overton window. Okay, it's way beyond that. So I will say what you said is 100% correct. Let these companies go fuck around and find out. But the point is, the majority of people are not going to extend themselves that far for the majority of games that are going to try to charge $80. Again, are there some unicorns? Absolutely, right? GTA 6 obviously could charge $200 and it will barely make a dent, right? In like its popularity. Probably the next Cyberpunk or The Witcher 4 might also be able to push 80. You know, football club. I mean, those people are paying way more than that anyway.
Microtransactions,
those people will easily say, you know what, charge me $100, but then I don't have to pay for Ultimate Pack, you know, with like real world money. That will be a net positive for them. But yeah, certain games can definitely do it, and we could probably name about a baker's dozen. But then beyond that, every other game is gonna have to fight for that $80 price tag, and most of the time you're going to lose. So that's just the truth of it. You are beyond what is acceptable. I personally, I don't care, because the truth is this. Like I said earlier, a company can charge whatever they want. You can pay whatever you decide to. But then also, the one good thing about in games, while we do have a skill check, which is unique to us and that no other medium has ever like dared to do such a thing, we also receive the only medium where waiting usually gives you a better product and no visible discount to you besides FOMO, maybe. Like if you were like really excited to play day one and now you don't want to play day one because you don't want to pay it on day one for whatever reason, I guess that might be the downside. But other than that, the upsides are tremendous. It's better patched. There's more game modes. There's photo modes built in. You know, there's all of these additional features and quality of life improvements that you can pick up. You know, and you're not paying for a used product. You know, and even if you do buy it used, discs don't get scratched anymore because they usually spin for less than 5 minutes in the entire life cycle. Like if you play a game, you know, physically, you put it to your PS5 and you play for 300 hours, that disc only spins for like 30 seconds because all it does is just the very first time it will give you your data, and then every other time it just validates your license, and that's it. So you never get scratched discs anyway. And anyways, they are more resilient than they used to be. But the point is, there's no penalty for having, you know, used games or secondhand games or waiting a year or waiting however long you choose until the price once again falls below whatever you think is the acceptable limit for that product. So we have the power is in our hands, right? So on the one side, you could pay for a game and then you might suck at it. For example, I bought Dead Cells. I absolutely suck at Dead Cells. I couldn't even get past at the first level. I was like, dude, I do not want to go through this amount of hand-eye coordination. I don't want to do it, right? Some people felt the same way with Cuphead, right? You buy Cuphead, you can't play it, you know, because the game is like, hey, this is what I am. Some people felt the same with Elden Ring, right? They couldn't get past the first area. It is what it is. That's one of the risks that you take. But if you happen to wait long enough and you get those games on sale, cool. Like Diablo 4 is the PlayStation Plus headline game for this month, right? Some people pay for that game, didn't like it. It is what it is. I can commit, get it to PlayStation Plus, have a better product than them, and it feels just as brand new to me as it did to them several years ago. So, pros and cons to everything.
Okay. All right. All right. Ghost.
Yeah.
What are your
I'm gonna
thoughts?
go. I'm gonna agree with the brain. With his, with his analogy and his terminology as far as like, this is a luxury hobby. But the one thing we have to consider is that like these companies have, Microsoft, Xbox, Nintendo. They have some of the best analytical firms that do all their market data, market research, right? And so when they step out of line and ask an $80 price point, whether the game deserves it or not, that they have they're collaborating all this data that they figure that's the reason why they add that price. They somehow, whatever data they're looking at, they're seeing that the consumer, and it may not be the hardcore Twitter, it may not be the hardcore gamers like ourselves, but the casuals may be willing to pay $80, and they're seeing that type of data to justify that, right? It's just not they woke up one day and was like, we're gonna charge $80, and then there's a whole algorithm, there's a whole bunch of data that just goes into that. So, like you said, P Rocket or Brain, they'll have to fuck around and find out. But at the same token, they're privy to a lot more data than we are. You know what I'm saying? And we'll just have to see. But that's my take on it. I mean, I'm gonna pay if it's a game that I want. I just don't care the price. I'm gonna get it. That's me. And that goes with any of my hobbies. If anything that I want, and being from the line of work that I was in, you know, these companies are justified in asking whatever they want or whatever they deem fit. I mean, at the end of the day, they're trying to turn a product or a profit, and they're testing the bound because there's, as I can just speak on Americans, we buy tons of goofy shit all the time. You know what I mean? And so when something is important or something is prevalent as gaming is on the forefront, then who's to say? You got to realize what was the price of the first Outer Wilds or whatever the game that's $80.
$60.
All right, so here's just a little bit of math. I'm just kind of thinking it through my head. They charge $60, right? And now they're charging, and it's a $20 increase. Okay, now unless there's completely different mechanics or whatever, because they had a base to go off over to build the sequel off of, and so maybe they're thinking, that $20 increase. Yeah, I mean, even if they sell half the amount of units, it's still a $20 increase. They didn't have to maybe put in as much work or maybe the same amount of money that they put in the first one. They're backed by Microsoft. I mean, there's a lot of data that we're just not privy to, but maybe that's their mode of thinking is that, okay, even if we sell half, we're still earning $20 more than what we were asking for it. And let's see where it takes us. But I'm just on the like minds that these companies are going to do what they're going to do, and it is up to the consumer, as Craig said, to get it ready. Pause. I can't. That shit just cracked me up thinking about it.
Don't encourage him, Gus. Don't encourage him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, so that's why I said I it's easier to understand why Nintendo did it. Like, for example, Mario Kart sold 65 million units, right? And they sold it at $60 pretty much the whole time, right? So I get Mario Kart, right? But a game like Outer Worlds, like what data are they seeing that they think that game will be successful at $80 when a lot of the sales wasn't even at $60? It was like at $30, $40 when it's its price point, right? So like it's not like I can understand if Outer Worlds launch and they said, oh man, we sold 4 or 5 million the first week at $60, right? Like Spider-Man sold 11 million at $70. So I can understand Sony risking $80 for Spider-Man 3. But Outer Worlds, like at $60, right? Like it sold, I think, I'm looking at it up right now, it sold around 5 million throughout his lifetime, and that's including, I think they did a remake or something, or a special edition, right? So the game didn't even sell like a solid 5 million at its original $60 price point, right? So what is it about this game that they think is now valued at $80, right? It could completely, and like I said, at the end, we're just going to see how it turns out. But the thing that gets me, I ain't going to say, the thing that puts a concern on me is, let's say Outer Worlds releases at $80 and nobody literally buys it, simply because they don't see the value of Outer Worlds title being $80. So it misses sales expectations, it sells miserably. You know, all the expectations of the game have not been met, and Microsoft says, fuck it, we're just shutting the studio down. And I'm like, in my mind, I'd be like, that's not the studio's fault. That's your fault. You priced the game to where it was doomed to fail, and now you want to shut down the studio because it didn't meet the metric of $80. When like the publisher needs to look at the games and actually realize which game is an $80 game. That's why I always thought it would be Call of Duty. I didn't think it was going to be Outer Worlds. Like, some games, they need to appropriately price to give it a chance. Like, Outer Worlds is like, at best, a $70 games. I think it would be better selling at $60. But I think, like, if everybody just carte blanche says $80, I think you're going to see a lot more failures. And what the publisher's going to respond, they're not going to go, damn, we messed up. That's our fault. We should have never priced it that high. No, they're just going to shut the studio down and keep the ones that can sell games at $80. That's just what I think will end up happening, right? You have your free-to-plays, right? And then you have your games made by companies that can make games that sell at $80. Anybody, any AAA Dave that's not successful on the $80 price model, you're just going to have to disappear. That's what I think the industry will end up doing for some of these titles.
Was the first Outer Wilds released on PlayStation at launch?
Yeah, it was a multi-plat. Yeah, all of them.
Okay, so
it was on PS4.
So just doing
PC, PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah, so just doing this math right here, right? Let's just say, that first Outer Wilds, you have your first initial push at $60, but it probably dropped off. We're going to use an aggregate of $45 at 5 million, okay, and that's 240 something million. I mean, if you sold 3 million, if you sold 2.5 million at $80, it's the same money as them selling at $45 over the whole course of $5 million. I mean, or 5 million copies. You know what I mean?
I will say this though. For while the math is right, and it's very theoretical. What I want to say is that the audience reception will also be impacted by that, because the way that the person judges a game at $60, sorry, versus the same or the next game at $80 is going to be reflected in harsher reviews, in more demanding, like if there's a glitch or whatever, a person is going to feel like, why am I experiencing this when I paid so much more for it? So that's what I mean. The further you go away from that acceptable standard between that $30 to $60 range, the more people are going to have high expectations of your product and everything like that. And I can tell you, having played the first Outer Worlds, I think I've got like I could platinum it, like I'm close enough to the platinum. That's how far I've played it. It wasn't even worth 60. Like, it really was a $30 to $40 game. Like, you're still reading text. Like, for me, I'm like, no, if you don't have like a good complement of voice acting, you don't deserve a full price game. Like, you take a look at Clay Obscure, like, again, that thing doesn't have full voice acting, but it's $50 at launch. So again, for me, I'm like, yeah, you made some compromises in your, you have budgetary constraints, so I don't pay the price of a game like a Death Stranding 2. That is fair to me. You take a Clear Obscure, you put it at $80, even if I love it, even if I will pay for it, it's not worth that, And that's the thing. Like,
and how many people wouldn't have played Clear Obscure if it was $80?
Exactly. Like, listen, the only reason Clear Obscure sold even 3 million copies is because it was $50.
$50.
You know, like I think they should have priced it at 40. I think that would have been like an even better sweet spot for more people to give it a go. But they will have sales, and then those people will pick it up, you know, when they go on sale. They were not too far from where they should have been, right? But the Outer Worlds was not worth 60. The Outer Worlds 2 is definitely not worth $80. Like, I'm sorry. You know, like, no, it is
And no, and I'm gonna
absolutely
agree
not.
with you to a certain point, but apparently, 5 million people, and I'm not disputing what you're saying, but apparently 5 million people thought it was worth whatever the price, and so much so that the studio was granted permission or granted the green light to build a sequel. You know what I mean? And
No, but
so
most of those 5 million sales were not at the full asking
that's
launch price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
that's
wasn't
what I'm
at the
saying.
full
Like
$60. It's got price drop.
that's why
And again,
that's why I aggregate at $45. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But again, the $60 is kind of like, all right, an acceptable price for most games. So, at $60, people will risk a lot more games.
Yeah.
You bump it up to $80. So, like at $80, yeah, you better be a Grand Theft Auto. You want $80? Give me Grand Theft Auto. And Outer Worlds is not a Grand Theft Auto. It's not even close to that. Like, that's why I said like a Grand Theft Auto or Naughty Dog game. You have to, like, if you want $80, you better be a big dude. It's like a Honda asking for price of a Ferrari. Like, no, you better be a Ferrari if I'm gonna pay a Ferrari.
In a sense.
I mean, but this is Microsoft we're talking about, and you remember when they had Phil on there talking about Redfall, and he was like, "Yeah, our internal testing."
Well, look at Redfall. Yeah, J-Dub brought a good point. Redfall was their first $70 game.
And they didn't learn the lesson.
Yeah, like, bro, Redfall? That should have not. You finally jumped to the $70 train. Should have not been Redfall, dog. That's a bar. That is a terrible way to start. And you saw all the backslash or whatever. It would have got back. You would have gotten backlash at $60. It should have never launched. Period. That thing was like it shouldn't even launch. Whatever. But it's like. The industry wants to price every game. I think ultimately the industry wants to price games, every AAA game at $80, and that's just not the case. They need to realize some games might get away with $80. That's why I said Madden. I could see it getting away. Madden, college football, football club, Grand Theft Auto, Naughty Dog, Spider-Man 3, Cyberpunk 2078, Witcher 4. There's certain games that will get away with it. I firmly believe there's certain games. I'll be honest. I don't think Final Fantasy will get away with it.
No.
Nope, but that game. It's not that dude no more.
Huh? You think Cyberpunk with
I think Cyberpunk with the how would you say, with all the gains and goodwill they brought back, I think CD Projekt Red got their good.
Okay, so you're saying they earned their good graces.
I think they earned good graces back.
Yeah, because if they were to drop a new Cyberpunk in the condition they dropped the original one.
Oh yeah, that would have been, bruh. You saw Sony refunded that shit and took it off the store. They're like, take this shit off the store, bro. Don't. They're not playing.
You know what?
But I think standard pricing $80 is not going to work for most games. It's just not.
Yeah.
You know what I think is really kind of driving this too. I think number one, I think a lot of this has to do with the bigger companies being publicly traded, and it's kind of their shareholders have a what's the word, a say in this. Just because of I still don't understand how we got physical copies, and I understand physical copies were priced at what they're supposed to be priced at. Let's just say $70. But then we also got digital copies as well too. And I remember specifically that digital copies were supposed to be cheaper than the physical ones because it cuts out the middleman. But you see that sometimes the physical copies same price, or they even cost even more.
I learned physical copies will end up always being cheaper than digital, and it's because of shelf space. That's why physical copies drop price faster, because they're taking up a physical space that they have to get rid of. Digital don't take up physical space. It's it's all in servers. But a physical copy, right? The game comes out and maybe it's not popular, whatever, but it's still on the store shelf. It's taking up space. They have to get rid of it. So what do? They drop the price just so that way somebody could buy it and they could ship it, or somebody walks in like, oh shit, this game's $30. Yeah, let me just grab it and take it off the shelf. It's taking a physical space, so they're willing to drop the price faster to see who can bite and just take it off the floor. But I understand the promise was, no packaging, no distribution, no second party retailer. Digital should be cheaper because you cut out so much overhead from getting it from the person, from the company that makes it to the consumer's hand. All that stuff in between, like packaging, shipping. Then it's on the store shelf and it has the disc. You have to pay for the disc. You have to record it on the disc. You have to package it in the package and you have to wrap it. All this extra stuff, right? You would think all that gets eliminated. So a $60 game should be costing like $45. No. Actually, the physical gets cheaper because the fact that it's on the store shelf, if it's not moving, the store has to figure out a way, how can we get this physical product that we have off our shelf? And then that's why they drop price faster than the digital counterpart. And then number two, instead of PC, like PC's fine because PC has multiple digital storefronts. Consoles, we only have one.
Right.
So if you go to the PlayStation store, you go to the Xbox store, and it's like a game that's like 1 year old, and it's still $70, what are you going to do? There's no other store on your console to compete with that price. So you either buy it or especially if you have an all digital console. That's why consoles should never be all digital without the option of disc. They should always have the 100%. Option of disc because that's your only controlling price. If PlayStation releases an all digital console with no option disc, that means the only place you can get a game is their own store. You can't get a game nowhere else.
Right.
So if that game is stuck at $80, you're not buying games. If you're like, I'm not buying $80 games, and all their games are $80 and don't drop price, you just bought a console that's useless. Unless you're going to play free-to-plays. Because what other store are you going to get your game from? You're stuck.
That is why, what is it? Another thing is that when you buy your games digitally, you are tying them to an account. You don't physically own them, right? Or you don't digitally own them. What I mean by that is that the license isn't sold to you, the individual. The license is sold to your account. So if they ban your account, for whatever reason, you lose all your purchases, which is ridiculous.
That's why I don't talk.
Completely ridiculous.
That's why, listen, to the people, don't chat or send a message, go to the Discord. Any bullshit, any false report, whatever, and Sony has a shitty system of banning people. Like, there's no appeals. Like, you can't appeal the decision. Once they ban you, your shit's gone. And all the games you bought, I could understand if they ban your online access, meaning, because you don't know how to conduct yourself or whatever, you no longer can subscribe to PS Plus, you no longer have access to communicate with other people or play with other people, your online privileges has been revoked. But you still get to play your games because you bought them. Nope. They close your account.
Yep.
And every game that you put tied to that account is gone.
Gone. All your saves gone.
Everything.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And on the PS5, you can't even physically save your saves on a USB stick anymore. Like that's ridiculous. Like, again, these companies don't let them sucker you into the convenience of digital only life. Listen,
There's a price
use
if
both,
you're wrong,
but there is a price to be paid because in reality, you should have your you should have your digital library tied to you, the individual, not to your specific account. Or even if they can tie to your account, and if they ban that, they should refund you your purchases so that you can put it on another account. But whatever, right? That's not the way that it works. But again, in the physical world, could you imagine? Like, you go to a physical bookstore, you buy books. You've been going there for years. One day, you're just pissed off. You're in a bad mood. You give a good old middle finger to the owner. Owners are, okay, you're banned from my store. Don't ever come back. Also, I'm taking back all the books you ever purchased. You don't get them. He just goes for wheelbarrow to your house and he just takes back all your books, all the purchases you ever made. And it's like, that's how it works in the digital world. Like, that's crazy. You have a disagreement with Sony, and I'm like, that Ratchet and Clank you bought, to 10 years ago? Yeah, that's mine. I'm taking that back.
We're taking it back. Yeah, that's why I don't like the ban thing. The ban should just be conform to the punishment. If you're on Messenger harassing people, hey, you no longer have access to Messenger. You can't message nobody.
No more chatting.
No more voice, no more message, no more chats. You're blocked out of that. You can play your games, you can play online, but you cannot communicate with anybody because of the way you conduct yourself. You know, but no, they ban your whole shit. Like everything is gone. You know, so that's why I don't be responding to messages and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, you're not gonna sucker me with this shit. See you on the Discord. Oh man. All right, let's go to the next topic. Xbox community crashing out. For those who don't know, this is Laura Fryer, right? She was one of the original people that worked on Xbox with the Xbox working group, with their ATG team and stuff like that. So she was involved pretty much up until the end of 360, you know. So she's very familiar with how Xbox started. She was actually working on Crimson Skies before that. And I skipped the beginning part, but let's listen to her from here.
That Microsoft just announced are coming. For context, let's talk about why Xbox started and how it played into the strengths of Microsoft. I was working in Microsoft Game Studios on Crimson Skies when the console talks started. At that point, Microsoft dominated the office, but Sony owned the living room and was taking a serious bite out of the PC gaming market. When Xbox launched, there were at least 125 million PlayStations available, and there was a reason for that. Gamers could just plug in the PlayStation and the games worked. They didn't have to worry about why that piece of software on their Windows system didn't play nice with the other piece of software and why their video card wasn't working or that they needed an updated driver. It was simple.
This is how you share your games on PS4. Thanks.
Of course, at that time, game developers actually listened to their customers and they would follow them. With all of these gamers going to PlayStation, game developers started trying to climb the hill of learning the PlayStation. And if they could do that, then they didn't have to worry after they made their game about testing all of those hardware and software compatibility issues that plagued the Windows ecosystem. It just worked. Microsoft could see this threat, so they jumped in and did what Microsoft does best. They took over an existing market by leveraging their strengths. They already had a fine-tuned system of execution at scale. They knew how to ship product, and they knew how to scale their system across a large team. Luckily, Microsoft had already built a game developer foundation with Microsoft Windows and DirectX. The message for Xbox was simple. With a hard drive, you could build your game once on Xbox or Windows, and it would just work. Of course, the problem was Windows was bloated. So without telling Bill Gates, the Xbox team removed the bloat and made a light version to power the box.
I start to try to argue for this, why we can't have the normal version of Windows. Bill doesn't want any of it. He doesn't want to hear it. He yells at me, he shuts me down.
We did everything we could to make the platform as attractive for game developers as possible. We even hired 50 game makers into the Xbox Advanced Technology Group to support the game developers. The ATG team collectively had made hundreds of games, so we were great at translating game developer concerns into changes at Microsoft. We did whatever it took, and this focus on developers, it was a game changer because we attacked one of Sony's biggest weaknesses. They did not have great developer tools or support or documentation.
Games sell consoles, and so in order to sell consoles, we had to win the hearts and minds of the developers.
I could see that Xbox had a chance of succeeding. We were listening to developers, and we were building exclusive, high-quality first-party titles. We knew that platform adoption requires proof. People don't buy your new hardware if there's no reason to. Definitely a problem for the new Xbox handheld. And it worked. By 2012, Xbox was a multi-billion-dollar business, and they were a true player in the living room. Fast forward, and here we are. It's 1 year from the 25th anniversary of the Xbox, and it looks like they're abandoning pretty much everything that made the Xbox brand great in the first place. Let's start with the handheld announcement. I've seen mixed reactions, and that has me really puzzled because I don't see any reason why anyone would buy this piece of hardware. Just like the original Xbox, it's built on Windows, a slimmed down version of Windows, but it's still Windows. So this isn't something new. And let me just admit my bias here. I don't like Windows. When I left Microsoft, I installed Linux on all of my personal systems, and I never looked back. Of course, as many pointed out after PewDiePie did the same thing, Windows is still needed for some games, so I created a dual boot machine for those cases. Incidentally, this line, the freedom of Windows, freedom? Windows 11 is forcing you to have separate accounts so they can track everything you do. Doesn't feel very free. And they are leaving a lot of their Windows 10 users behind because they require a chip to be installed on the motherboard in order for you to upgrade. Microsoft, you do you, but freedom is literally the last thing I would use to describe the Windows operating system. So given the Xbox was already built on Windows, I don't see that that's really a big selling point. But that's okay, because it's really about the games. Will it be Halo? Will it be the new Gears? Is there going to be a game so compelling that it drives me to adopt this new handheld? Well, here's the problem. Xbox doesn't do exclusives anymore. Even if Xbox delivers a crazy, great game, Xbox Anywhere means that I can play that game on any platform. I can play it on Xbox or PC. I may even be able to play it on the PS5 or the Switch. So why would I buy the ROG Ally? And of course, delivering a killer game in a reasonable time frame isn't something Xbox is particularly good at right now.
All right, I want to play. For those of you who haven't seen the rest of the video, let me do some super chats real quick. We got Brian East. Remember when Xbox increased their console price? Remember when Nintendo held back pricing for their console, expecting to hike their prices? Remember when the PS5 console hike was obvious? Shout out to Brian. And he got another super chat. They cited the reason for RevFor price increase as, checks notes, reflecting content scale and technical complexity. Yeah, I think they believe they could get away with it somehow. And same now. That's true. Kali Yuga with the super chat. GTA 6 at $80. I can see the Outer Worlds 2. Absolutely not. Jay Bari. You know, hey man, yo, that episode 200 hits different, bro. It hits different, man. Sad to see what's up, PlayStation, ending, bro. But you always got a place here, my brother. You always got a spot here. Jay Barry, former Xbox reps and execs can't speak about Xbox. They don't work there no more. Listen to me, the person who never worked at Xbox instead. Gaming in 2025. Yo, that shit is wild. Like, literally, they rather listen to people who never worked at Xbox and got stuff wrong about Xbox versus the people that literally built the brand and stuff. Like, yo, that's crazy. I never seen some people. Yo, it's wild, bro. And she was on the team that was working to get Gears on Xbox. Mm-hmm. She has a video. I saw a little clip. I'm gonna try to find the video. I'm gonna do a video on that because everybody did a video on this. I'm gonna try to do a video on that. But she explained she was new to the company. She was still there. She was one of the newer people. So they put her on Gears because nobody else wanted to work on Gears with Epic. So they just threw her to the wolves. So I was like, so it's like people at Xbox did not want to work on Gears, so they had her do it. I'm like, Xbox don't know shit from Shinola when it comes to a good game. It's just crazy. If they did end up with a good game, it's a complete accident. It's because someone out of the whole blue saw the light. But man, Xbox don't know good games, bro. Like, that's a wild story. I saw a clip on the Twitter. I want to do a video on that. Bobo Country, again, you start with the stupid Bethesda loving CDPR loving statement. They don't make good gameplay. You know this just because of dialogue choices. I'm just saying, a lot of people like CD Projekt Red games. I mean, which is successful. CD Projekt Red, I think 2077 now is at 30-40 million. A lot of people like it. Dialogue choices are not good gameplay. I mean, I think turning left is not good gameplay, and people love GT7. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I listen. I can't stand racing games, but I'm not going to argue against the success of Gran Turismo 7. The numbers speaks for themselves. Cyberpunk 27, the numbers speaks for themselves. How many people are playing that game now that they fixed it? Witcher, the numbers speak for themselves. Glassdoor Gamer. Linux is the future of x86 PC gaming, not Windows. It's that the thing is, who's like, no one's really pushing Linux though. Like Linux doesn't have, like everybody says Linux is a better OS, right? But there's nothing really pushing people towards Linux. Like Linux needs something to get people to adopt it. You know what I mean? Am I making sense?
Yeah, you're right.
Like there's
Because at the
something about
moment, the
Linux,
only
because
thing
Linux been
that
around
people-
forever.
Yeah, the only thing that people go to Linux for is because they hate Windows, and that's not enough.
That's
you
not a
can't
selling
just be
point,
the
though.
yeah. That's like me dating you because I hate your best friend. Like, it's just like yeah, just like nah. It's not really the thing. You're right. Linux does need an actual compelling draw of its own, other than oh, you hate Windows and you don't have an Apple device, so you can't get Mac OS.
Yeah, you know, so right now, so with Laura Fryer, right, she really triggered the Xbox community. Like,
oh, she did.
Like, oh man, I never seen a group of people crash out so crazy, right?
The worst part is that she actually worked for Xbox, and she's the reason that they have the box that they love. So they don't know what to do. They're stuck. They are literally
They are
stuck
Xbox
in Ember.
gamers. Yeah, she's one of the reasons. She was part of the group that created
Yep.
Xbox. So technically, you guys, she's your
And
mama. You came out her vagina.
Yeah,
Like, you're
and
insulting
normally
your mama.
they want to say something
She
like, "Oh, she
birthed
was
you.
just a suit. She was just a suit." But no, she was executive producer
Yeah.
on 2 of their favorite games,
Like,
Gears
one-
1
yeah.
and Gears 2. So
Yeah.
it's like they just don't know what
She
to do. They're
birthed
like,
you. You came out
Yeah.
her vag. You're
Yeah.
insulting your mama. How you curse out your mama? You know what I'm saying?
Xbox came out from her pussy.
Look what's crazy, right? This is what's wild. Okay.
Before the Xbox, there was the V box, and it was hers.
Yeah. You know, you came out, she birthed y'all. She pushed y'all big heads, pushed out her womb, and this is how you treat her? So look at Judge Gordon, right? He says, Microsoft just literally announced new Xbox hardware versus someone who hasn't been there for over a decade saying they're not going to make hardware. Genuinely think some people just want to see Xbox fail. Laugh out loud. I have no idea why you just believe the latter otherwise. Dorova replies, I don't think that is what it is. She is not happy because she is seeing what she built with Xbox get destroyed. And she does not think that the strategy will be successful in the long term. So Jazz tries to clap back what she built with Xbox, like the Xbox One. So he tries to pin the Xbox One as she was there and she was one of the people who caused a problem. Except this is her video, and this has a comment capture. She says, I was vice president of WB Games when Xbox One was announced. No. You see how crazy this is now? Yep. So they're trying to do a gotcha. Oh, she was part of Xbox One, so she doesn't know. No, she wasn't. But here's the thing I said, though. You know who actually was with Xbox One when it came out?
Phil Spencer.
There you go.
I've always said it. I've always said it was his fault.
Sorry.
I always said it. Always.
Mm-hmm. Phil Spencer was there. And he's still there. And notice things are getting progressively worse to the point where now people aren't even sure what is an Xbox anymore. You know, Dr. I asked a question. If somebody were to ask you what's an Xbox right now, most people would be like, the people who don't know will say, oh, yeah, it's the console. But that's because they're casual and they're not keeping up the news. Some people say it's software. It's a publisher. Or it's just a brand of devices. Like, what the hell's an Xbox, right? That's all under Phil. Phil created this identity crisis. You call it a trans box, you know, a console that identifies as a PC that identifies, I don't know. I don't even know what it identifies now. It's it's a they, them. I don't know. You understand? But anyway, so she has a legacy. She was there with every step of the way, right? She understands the console business. She was there to help the console business be successful for Xbox. She was there for the 360, then she left. It seems like all the big people that understood what Xbox was, as soon as they left, everything went to shit because the remain behinds didn't understand what they had. They didn't continue the culture. They didn't say, hey, these people who created it, they passed down the knowledge to us, we're going to keep it going. Instead, they try to reinvent it, which I think was what the Xbox One was, a reinvention of the Xbox to be an all-out family entertainment multi-something device. It completely failed. And they didn't really have a good strategy for more games, to keep making big AAA games, to get more AAA publishers. They weren't sure what to do. And then you got a boss who probably don't even like the strategy to begin with. Now they try to cater to him with cloud and subscriptions. And that ain't really work. So now they just all out third party going with these vendors and stuff like that, right? But these Xbox guys crashed out, like all of them. There's another tweet I gotta see. Let me see if I could pull it up. This dude is one of the first people to get 1 million score on Xbox. And even he went at her.
I want to say while you find that tweet, that I saw another tweet by a person that said that, Lawfire is basically like reciting, like it sounds like she's reciting this for the comment section for the last 10 years. And I'm like, and other people have made that argument like, she sounds like she's just reciting what, ponies would say, or, what King Thrash would say, what Podorock would say, so on and so forth, right? And it's like, well, the reason she's not reciting what these people are saying, or even what I've said, is she is simply like, what is it? Doing the same analysis and coming to the same conclusions as all of these people have come to. Like, is it fantastic that she has the experience of having actually built up the Xbox brand? Absolutely, right? But we've seen this disingenuous thing where, let's say that a person like King Thrash says something. People will say, oh, you know nothing about the console business, so you should shut the fuck up. Then eventually, a person like a Sean Layden will say something. And then they'll be like, oh, well, he wasn't even an Xbox. So whatever he says doesn't apply, even though he was, the head of the console business, right? And then finally, we have someone like, whether it's Mikey Barra, they will be like, oh, he was just a developer. He doesn't know anything about the business side of the console or the platform business. Then we finally have someone like her, and now they don't know what else to say. Because how do you remove her credibility? When again, like Podorock so eloquently put it, you came out of her vagina. This is, you were birthed, in her baby water. This is where you came from, So it's like, I don't know. Even Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer told you, we've lost the console war against Sony. We can't out-console them. And people were like, well, he just had a bad day. It doesn't, I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, it didn't take you working on Xbox to tell that something had gone tremendously wrong along the way. It didn't do that. But now that we're here, we can clearly see that it doesn't matter what happens, you're always going to find an excuse. That's okay. It's all right. We forgive you.
He said we'll forgive you. So here's it. So this is Stallion 83. He was the first one to get a million gamer score points, right? And this is why he said, oh snap, man, let me go back. This is what he said about her. Where's it at? Here we go. Laura Fryer's, right here. This is what he said about her. Laura Fryer's Xbox commentary feels like it was sourced from the comment section. If you haven't followed Xbox in 10 years, maybe don't speak on it like you have. Sounds like sour grapes pretending to be critique. So what's crazy part is, she probably has more connections in the industry than he does. All he did was just get a gamer score. She actually helped build the product you got your gamer score at. She was literally actually an executive producer for Gears. Like this is what's crazy. Like, she literally made Xbox with other people, obviously, but she made it. You guys just played it.
You know what's funny?
Just because, it's what's up.
I was going to say that when you talked about having industry, she mentioned in another video, she mentions that when she saw the review for the Xbox One, she was so distraught that she actually called up a person working at Microsoft on that, on that Xbox team at the time, and she was like, "Hey, what happened?" So yeah, you're right. She does have the connections. She knows still the people that make the product today. she knows the people that are making the next Xbox Transbox, whatever it's going to be. She knows them. So it's like whatever the Transbox is coming, she knows what gender it is. She knows.
She. We don't have to wait for the baby reveal. She already knows.
She knows which of the alphabets it's going to have. Whether it's non-binary, intersex, intransigent, whatever that is.
Oh man, she knows the people at AMD. She knows the people at Asus. She knows people at Rogue. She knows third-party publishers. She has connections. She knows she has connections at a bigger level than any podcaster or content creator in the community. It's absolutely wild. Shout out to JD Gamer. This is easy. MS is doing what MS did before. It's not a new thing. They are doing to gaming what they did to PC and IM. They are disrupting the market. No, they're not. They ain't doing a damn thing. So this is the thing. So guys like JD Gamer, this is what's funny about this conversation. You guys are making something into this big mystery, as if Microsoft, is curing cancer or solving a problem in the industry or doing something new in the industry. They're not. They're not doing anything big, bodacious, whatever. All they're doing is simply, ready for this? They're just simply using Windows. That's literally it. They're done with Xbox OS. They're like, we're just going to use Windows. The Windows that's already in desktop PCs, the Windows that's already in laptops, right? So I got a laptop here. Extreme, you got a PC, right? So we're on Windows 11. Yeah. Oh yeah, you saw Ghost, you got a PC too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right.
I mean, everybody at my company, has a PC that has Windows on it. I mean, they're doing what they're doing, what they do best, and that is software, intuitive. User interface. I mean, that's just what they're doing, and it has shareholders and top brass hands all over it. I mean, this abrupt pivot, and I guess the community is just mad because someone, like anytime that someone switches, MBG or Crap Gamer, whenever he flip flops, they always get the hate, and so this person's just telling the truth, a harsh truth they don't want to hear, and that's why you hear all these crash outs and people calling her, just doing what they do. I mean, that's what happens when you say anything bad about Xbox, and they're coming for her, and so it's a big expense right on time.
Hey, yo, Brain, you got a desktop? You got a desktop, right? Gaming PC, if I remember correctly.
I got a gaming laptop.
Okay, so he has a gaming laptop. I have a gaming laptop. All four of us on Windows 11.
Yes.
Right? If you got an Asus ROG Ally, Windows 11. If you got a Lenovo Legion Go or Legion, Windows 11. Some of these tablets, right, that are for sale, that runs on Windows, I'll put it on the screen here. Some of these tablets, the ones that are not Android based, right? Like Windows 11 tablets and stuff like that. That's literally Windows 11. So think about all the devices: PC, laptops, tablet, handhelds. There's only one device left that's not on Win 11, and that's Microsoft Console. That's all they're doing, JD Gamer. They're just using Windows 11 going forward. Now, here's the thing. The second part that you people don't understand is Microsoft's not going to take that head lead in creating hardware anymore. They're going to put it in the hands of a third-party hardware manufacturer. And I'm not talking about AMD, because here's the thing. A lot of people making this stupid point. Oh, PlayStation uses AMD, so is AMD building console? I'm like, no, you moron. AMD is just a provider of the component. It is still Sony making the decision on how the PlayStation console is being built, because somebody has to decide on the power supply. Sony's going to decide who provides it. Sony's going to decide who provides the SSD. Sony also provides their own hardware-specific features that gets also added to it. The Ethernet, the Bluetooth, the OS, all of those are Sony decisions, not AMD. All AMD does is, hey, what do you want, Sony? Hey, we want this CPU to this specification that you guys have, and this GPU to this specification. That is what we want. And AMD's like, cool, we will build it for you. Here you go. This is your APU. Sony built, Sony actually designed the cooling around it. They get the power supply from whoever they get it. If they don't build it themselves, they'll probably get it somebody. The SSD they got from somebody, Bluetooth, Ethernet, Wi-Fi, all that stuff. They have their own OS that they loaded up, so they made their own specific OS for PlayStation, and then they contract the Foxconn plant in China to put it all together. That is Sony building hardware. Microsoft's not doing that anymore. They did it with the Series X and S. They're not doing that anymore. Now they're just going to go to Dell. Hey, just build a machine. We got the Windows. And Dell's just going to do what Dell normally does. They don't make consoles. They make PCs. Asus don't make consoles. Acer does not make consoles. They make PC gaming machines. That's all they do. So you got an Acer gaming machine with Windows 11, and they're going to slap an Xbox stick on it. That's not disrupting the industry. That's literally making you guys PC gamers. You literally could do that now. You don't have to wait for Microsoft to do that for you. The only thing you have to wait for is for Microsoft to update Windows 11. That's literally it. You're just waiting for them to update Windows 11 and push that update to you so you can have access to emulation that will emulate the Xbox games and stuff like that. You don't got to do anything. Most reviews already have what Microsoft's planning to push. It's just a Windows 11 update. Don't think for a minute there's a specific console-centric stuff. Whoever Microsoft contacts, I think they're going to stick with Asus because they already did a handheld, so I don't see why. Or maybe Microsoft might expand it to other guys, right? They might say Asus, Lenovo, Dell. You three will be the ones to build the Xbox. All they're going to do is give you a pre-built gaming machine. It's just a gaming PC. That's all they're going to give you. I mean, look at the funny part is you can actually see it. Can people not see the Asus ROG Ally is just the handheld Asus was going to make anyway? They were going to make that handheld anyway. It's just an upgraded version it's the newer model of what they already created. It just has newer hardware. Huh?
Are you thinking? Actually, no, I agree with you. Because during the Xbox video, they released a video later, the behind the scenes about this groundbreaking collaboration between Xbox and the Xbox guy, the Asus guy, in the actor, whatever, he was like, oh, and then Xbox came to us and they were like, what if we made this but for gamers, and then they were like, oh yeah, we're going to have it inspired by the handles of the Xbox controller. Like he was like, take the ROG Ally and marry it with this, and he held the Xbox controller. And then people pointed out that it doesn't feel like the Xbox controller because the slant is not the same as the Xbox controller. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't actually feel the same. So I think you're right. I think that this was a design that the OG had in house. They had OG tested it. The OG had a mold for it, and then Microsoft came in and then was like, let's co-brand it together. So then they added a button, and that was it. Because the PlayStation Portal feels like a DualSense, like it has got the same, like the actual handle has got the same shape. So for me, I was like, if you actually built it after the Xbox controller, why wouldn't you have given it the same shape as the Xbox controller? So I agree. I think that they already had the design, they already had everything ready to, and then Microsoft came in too late into the design phase in order to actually make it have the exact ergonomics of the Xbox controller handle. What do they call the Xbox controller, by the way? Does it have like a branding term? Does it? They didn't call it something cool?
Dog shit. No, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. They just called it. I don't know. They just Xbox controller. Let's see. Glassdoor Gamer. SteamOS is Linux backed by Valve. Its market share is growing. That's why MS wants to make Windows better for gaming. That's their future comparison. That might be something. SteamOS. What do you think? You think SteamOS? You think that could be a selling point to get Linux to take over? Because SteamOS is based off Linux.
Depends on how far. That depends on how far they want to go.
I say Valve needs exclusives. Valve needs exclusives. I'm sorry. There is nothing better to sell something in gaming than an exclusive game. But so I say if they release Steam Machine and they got their Steam OS, whatever, and they have Half-Life 3, but it's only playable on Steam OS, it doesn't work on Windows.
I mean, it could work
Are they
on
willing
Windows.
to
If
risk
it plays
that?
best on SteamOS, that would still be one thing. But here's the question: do they want to make an OS play for gaming only, or do they want the general OS to be there? Because Google tried it. Google tried Chrome OS and it didn't work. Remember? They tried.
But
They
that
have
was for
machines.
but that was for like general applications, right? Chrome OS.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they did try.
Yeah.
They did try to make like an OS that was supposed to be like, no, this is your operating system from the get go on obviously laptops and desktops and everything like that. And it just didn't work. The Chromebooks didn't work, right? Chromebooks eventually were relegated to these what is it? Like netbooks.
They feel like
type of things,
machines.
you know?
They feel like bullshit
Yeah,
machines. I always looked at Chromebook like
yeah,
like a cheap, like just do email and browse
exactly.
the web.
So it's extremely difficult to create a general OS. Now, SteamOS at the moment is an OS dedicated very much for gaming. The problem with that is that you will need people to dual boot all of the time. Like I will need to have Windows for my normal things, and I will need to have SteamOS for my gaming needs. And it will be annoying to switch between the two because imagine you already got the whole thing going on Discord, you know, whatever, you're already chatting with your mates or you're already working on something else.
So why would you
and then
switch?
they're like, all right, let's get in the game. Let me just restart my whole computer and switch into SteamOS. That's a big of a hurdle. So I think if they are going to make a general OS play, like they're gonna go for the whole shebang, like they want Adobe to support it, they want CAD drawings to support it, they want enterprise, they are going to need exclusives, but not necessarily just games, but actual pieces of software. They're going to need to go out there and convince these developers like, hey, code your shit to work on Linux so that we can have it. But then a good thing is that they'll probably have them coded on Linux, not specifically their version of Linux, so that it could work with all Linux-based operating systems. Because I think that's what you have to do. You would have to make it so that a rising tide lifts all boats, so that anything that is based off of Linux can run these versions of the programs. But anyways, that's a whole other discussion. But yeah, SteamOS is going to be interesting. I do want it to release and see what it can do.
I wouldn't mind like SteamOS, and I wouldn't mind Steam trying to another shot at the console business.
Yes,
I honestly would love to see
that's
Apple.
that's needed.
I
I
don't
think
know why.
that's needed actually.
Yeah,
I think Xbox is exiting and leaving a big gap in the market. And when you think about, for me, there's three companies that can easily come in. There's Steam, so there's Valve, there is Apple, and then probably a Chinese-based company like Tencent or some other kind of like corporate conglomerate of companies and everything like that. But I fully believe that Xbox has exited the console market and that gap will need to be filled by somebody else. So Valve has never had a better time to be able to be like, okay, we'll give it another shot. Come up with the Steam Deck, but for consoles. So I guess they'll call it the Steam, whatever, the Steam Box or whatever. So yeah, they should.
Okay. All right.
Could you imagine how embarrassing it would be for Xbox to leave the console market and then Steam comes in it and then actually is successful? Like they sell 80 million consoles or something? Like they literally just took over your house and fucked your wife?
Hilarious. That would be hilarious. That would be fucking hilarious. Now, PlayStation still sells like 100 something million, but Steam just out of the blue says 80 million. And everybody's like,
yeah,
the fuck that happened? That shit would be so hilarious.
And that would be like Gen 1. So like by Gen 2, they are like competing with PlayStation like neck and neck.
They're literally they have games. They finally release they finally release Half-Life 3. Because I would do it.
No, they're going to need those exclusives. Yeah. Oh, and then the quote unquote money had games. They're just like, we don't need to build all these games. We'll just, hey, Cyberpunk 2088, your house. Time exclusive, 3 years.
Here's another example. Shout out to David, but he referenced myself and J-Dub saying that she sounds like us. Check this out.
But I'm asking you guys, don't she sound like J-Dub or Porter Rock or King Thrash or Jay Barry? I got to give talking points to a lot of people that actually have good talking points. Doesn't she sound like she's console war and she's down with Twitter? I mean, I'm just saying, let me know, because I could be wrong here, right? I could be holding her to a different standard. Am I wrong?
I think the problem is, you know, what's crazy part is, this is what's crazy about the whole thing. Oh, let me do JD Gamer. JD Gamer, he goes, what happens to your channel actually? Every PS content creator on here, if they don't mention Xbox or MS for 3 months, what will happen to y'all channel? Well, my channel will be fine because there's always going to be some bullshit. My channel is based on people talking bullshit, not knowing what they're talking about. It just so happens like you guys just so happen to be the biggest source of bullshit. I don't think you guys don't realize. Like you guys, like Nintendo, like I was, you know, they did their bullshit, but if you notice, they died down. They stopped. Like if you haven't noticed, Nintendo stopped the whole power narrative. They recognized, you know what? Yeah, we started out talking shit.
The Nintendo gamers got quiet very quick.
They tried.
They
Notice
tried
you don't
it
see.
hard,
They tried in the beginning. They tried the 4K 60. You know, on par with PS5. You saw them now. I haven't seen anything like in like 2 weeks. Nothing.
The only person is Nintendo. He's the only one who's
but he's by himself. Nobody. He's just stuck. He's just trying. But the majority, they're like,
the rest of the fans are like, listen, we don't.
They went back to just first party. They went back to what they really was. You know what? I'm just playing it for the first party. So you see how Nintendo. They tried. They wanted to step in the ring, but once we gave them 3 punches, they're like, oh, "Okay, yeah, I didn't train hard enough. We're going back to the gym." Like, nah, we're not ready. We're not ready for this. Yeah. So they stopped.
I'll see you
You guys keep going, bro. Like, you guys are the #1 source of bullshit. And you guys, the crazy part is, you guys don't learn. Like, listen, you guys. Let me put you. I would have thought that your game's going on PlayStation. Especially when they announced Indiana Jones at an Xbox showcase. I thought that would be the day you guys finally woke up and be like, you know what? A lot of people said this was going to happen and I didn't believe it. And look at it. I'm looking at it live at a show. Fuck this. I ain't listening to anything Xbox says ever again. If they make a good game, they make it. If they don't, they don't. Whatever they say, I don't give a fuck. Because look where we're at right now. Now I can't even watch an Xbox show without hearing the word PlayStation in it. I would have thought that would have tipped the scale and you guys would have been like, fuck this shit. Ain't no way I'm going to watch an Xbox showcase and you guys mention PlayStation. I'm done. Whatever. Do what you want. I don't care. But no, you guys double, triple down with shit like Trojan Horse. Xbox gonna kill PlayStation when it in. Like, yo, you guys provide unlimited bullshit. How can I not take advantage? You're feeding me, bro. Like, you're feeding me your souls. I'm the soul reaper. And you are willingly giving it to me. Like, bro, this shit is crazy. Shout out to the genius. Says, what up, my fellow Boricua? Well, this Xbox PC shift eliminate the use of a dev kit, I'm assuming. If so, devs not put an Xbox logo on trailers since it's a PC game. What confusion do you think that would cause? I think in the beginning, this is the transition period, right? The estrogen shots. You know, we talked about it on Friday. You know, you're getting you're getting your transition. Your skin's getting softer. You're no longer growing a beard. Your voice is getting lighter. You know, all that, all those little changes is happening, right? Eventually, this is all going to be a bad memory. Just like Sega. Today's gamers don't associate Sega with console hardware. It's like, it's not. Sega's just a third-party provider of software. Eventually, after all this smoke's over, it'll take a couple of years. It's just PC gaming. It's PC gaming. And then as far as consoles, PlayStation, Nintendo. That's it. Xbox will not be part of the console conversation. Xbox will be just a games publisher that makes games for PC, and the games they make for consoles, they make it for PlayStation, Nintendo. And then everything will be fully transitioned. You know, they'll chop off the penis and the nutsack. They'll stitch a vagina. They'll shape it. You know, plug in a hole, and it'll look just like the real thing.
Hey, so
I do not need that description.
Yeah, that was a bit much. But I put out a tweet earlier today that, you know, like my kiddo is wanting to build a PC, and he worked his butt off, you know, especially during the hay season. And he has $2,000, and I said, somebody, you know, on my follow list or whomever, build me a PC that does 4K 120. You know what I'm saying, for $2,000. And check out the responses. Some of the excuses. Oh, you ain't gonna get that for $2,000. I was like, what? and y'all got the nerve to sit there and talk about the PS5 Pro. I mean, it's astounding. Like you said, Puerto Rico, as far as like the social commentary and all the stuff that we see daily, the capitulation is the lying or the capping. It's comical. I mean, I'll sit in my office and I'll just scroll down the tweet and you'll just see something that's just so off the wall. And so you guys are a constant source of just entertainment with the
just can't
twists
help
and
it,
turns
man.
that you guys put yourself through to justify what Microsoft is doing. It's
Yo.
hilarious.
JD
And y'all got some
Gamer.
characters over there.
Oh yeah, there's some bad ones, man. There's guys. Check this guys out. Look at this one. This is the JD Gamer. Let me show you. Let me give you proof. This is where like it can't be helped. This is what you guys do. Look at this guy. The biggest problem is the traditional business model for gaming systems is becoming outdated. Companies want more revenue and need to evolve in order to profit. This type of mindset is becoming archaic. So now the console business model is archaic. Never mind, Nintendo is more successful than it's ever been, and PlayStation is more successful than it's been. But according to you guys, it's outdated. Even though we have clear-cut real-world examples that PlayStation is doing better than it's ever did in its brand, and Nintendo's doing better it's ever did in its brand. But you guys don't see it as, no, it was just a bad model for Microsoft. They couldn't make it work. For PlayStation, Nintendo, they're fine. In fact, they're doing better than ever. So they're going to keep doing what they're doing. But for Xbox, it just didn't work. But no, you don't see it that way. You see why we're able to talk about it? Because you provide unlimited bullshit. Like, it would be insane not to talk about this. It would be crazy not to make content out of this. You guys are literally handing it to us on a silver platter. JD Gamer, what's up?
To me, that actually points exactly to what Laura was stating, where she was saying that, hey, instead of the developers or the industry listening to the consumers, instead consumers are listening to influencers or want to be influencers.
Exactly.
As to how the way things need to be. And to me, and it's like you're not really saying it, and I don't think people are directly saying it, but it's being said indirectly as to, hey, the reason why gaming consoles even sell, or rather the main reason why gaming consoles sell, is because it has a product that isn't available anywhere else except for that particular platform. Nintendo was Mario, and Nintendo is a good example of this. It's I just don't know what it is, Rock. I mean, like I feel like a old guy, I feel like an old timer playing video games, because it's like, yo, like, this is a no brainer. Like, if I want something that somebody else can't provide me, then of course I'm gonna go towards that product. I mean, it's no, if, for example, if I want to buy a Corvette, well, it's only one company to make Corvettes. It's Chevrolet. I can't go to Ford and try to get them to make me a Corvette. I gotta go to Chevrolet. And get a Corvette. This is I just don't get it, man. Like this shit is beyond ridiculous. And then for people to say that, oh, that she's a Twitter warrior, she's basically saying she is basically not. I don't even want to say that she's even confirming what we always thought. Like, because to me, that's an understatement. I want to say that because she had insight and she was already part of the gaming business, she's just putting she's just adding the reasoning to the conclusions that we already had to come to. Like, we didn't have to be part of the industry to see where where Xbox was going, or that it was failing. And the reason why it even lasted this long is because of it was being subsidized by Microsoft. I just don't get it. It's like, it's the answers is right in front of people's faces, but I don't know how you double down or triple down. What is this, like the seven levels of grief? I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't. It's really sad to see some of the things that I see because of it. It's like, hey, I'm not going to buy a video game system based on what somebody's telling me about it. I'm gonna buy it either A, it provides a superior product, and or B, it got something that I like. And Xbox at one time, because again, I say it to anybody, hey, when the original Xbox came out, I was one of those guys. I actually believed the hype until until I saw things for myself as far as what Xbox
So
did
that's why you don't.
with the original Xbox and how that was how I thought that it died an early death. Whereas that console to me had to outside of the Dreamcast itself, that console only lasted 4 years. The moment the Xbox 360 came out, it's like the OG Xbox, they just threw that shit in the trash, and it's like, yo, the OG Xbox wasn't even utilized to its full potential, and I still believe that to this day.
Here's one thing that I want to say. A lot of people, like I think it was JT Gamer say that the old business model doesn't work anymore, the industry is changing, so on and so forth. We've heard the same refrain. Why do you try to then validate it using PlayStation? Like, there's a tweet here by Destin Legary where he basically says that Xbox is taking their games to PS5 and Switch, and PS5 is taking their games to Xbox via Steam. And it's like, no, why do you need validation? Here's the thing. When the Switch came out and it was successful, Nintendo fans didn't say, oh, the industry is changing, everybody's going to make handhelds now. They didn't need you. They didn't need your support. They didn't need your validation. They were like, this is working for us. It's a great strategy. We don't care what you do. No one from Nintendo was that the PS5 is going to be a handheld console. Yep. No one thought that. No one expected that. No one was asking for validation from PlayStation. They were confident that they had what they had, and that was it. They saw the success of the PS5, and no one thought that Nintendo was going to switch back to a traditional console. They were like, nope, they're going to come up with the Switch 2, and it's going to be a more powerful Switch. Now, granted, they thought it would be far more powerful than it ended up being, but the form factor, no one ever had that in mind. If you have a strategy that is winning, you don't need to try to convince others that the whole industry is doing it. You're happy with your lane. You don't need anyone else. If people follow, let them follow. But you don't need, like, the constant need for validation is so depressing. Like, okay, Xbox is putting their games on PlayStation. You think it's great. You think it's fantastic. Oh my God, more games for more gamers in more places. Great. Love it. If you like it, I love it. But then why do you need to then say, oh, I can play PlayStation games? Why is it that when the Xbox app was released, for PC gamers, by the way, the very first thing were like, oh, I can launch Spider-Man from here. Why not I can launch Gears? Why not I can launch Cyberpunk? Why is it that you need to be able to launch a PlayStation game for you to convince yourself that it's a good strategy? Why do you need a validation? If it's good, it's good. It doesn't need any external validation, nor do you need to try to like Jedi mind trick people and give false equivalencies all of the time to be able to say that, oh, PlayStation is doing it too. Like, remember that that's always been the thing. Like, oh, PlayStation is following Microsoft. No, bro. Like, you know what you are? You are the person who is like, you're walking from the train station and you're walking towards the bus stop. And most people, after the train, want to go and use the bus. So I'm walking behind you, and now you're like, oh, you're following me. Nah, bro, we're just going to the same. We just, for a little bit of the journey, we're still going to the same destination, but ultimately our paths are going to diverge quite massively. Like we're not going home together, just I want to use the bus too, That is the thing. They will see anything. They'll be like, oh, Xbox released the games on PC. PlayStation released the games on PC. They're following Microsoft. And it's like, no, they have completely different strategies about the PC releases. That is an important thing to bring up. But no, they want the validation from PlayStation so desperately. And again, if you were correct, if this was the way that the industry was going to follow anyway, you wouldn't need to keep checking back if someone else is following you. You are the person that says, hey, everybody, let's go streaking at the stadium, but you're the only one that's running out there naked. Like, no one's coming behind you, man. There's nobody else. It's just you. So whether you get it right or you look like a fool, don't expect other people to be there to reinforce your choice. That's what I wanted to say.
All right. Shout out to JD Gamma. He says, I'll tell you what I'm waiting for. I want plug-and-play gaming a la ease of the console with the game collection of PC plus my Xbox library and Game Pass all in one place, and it's coming one box to rule them all. All right, that's cool
but
for
wait,
you, man.
Don't you already have that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you could do that now with, well, except for the Xbox library when they added, but you'll eventually get, if you have a gaming PC, you just have to wait for them to update.
But then you said the Game
the
Pass
Windows library.
library? PC has Game Pass.
Yeah, but I think it's my Xbox library also.
Oh, okay.
So that's all gonna come to the PC gamers. You know, they don't have to buy a new box to get all that. You know, once the Windows 11 update happens, they're gonna get that. But let's also remind you what you really wanted. Let me show this screen right here. Remember this, JD Gamer, my boy? JD Gamer, he says, I see knees in the air, knees in the air. Great entertainment, gotta respect the truth that is sovereign and king are Nostradamus. Prediction, Sony will become a niche console maker. Not the first choice, not the second. They will become the afterthought locked in the closet. This is what you really wanted. You wanted Xbox to dominate this gen. And Sony, this was like what, early 2021? Your prediction was Microsoft was going to dominate this gen. And not only dominate, but that PlayStation was going to end up being a niche product this gen. Not even the second choice. They'll be the afterthought, meaning, you know, either Xbox or Switch is the first and second choice, and PlayStation is just the afterthought this gen. This is what you really wanted, my boy. I'm just saying, man. Shout out to the Glimmer Gamers. Shout out to the Glimmer Gamers. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, this little private group I got. I'm like the president of the United States that have like JSOC. You know, he has his own little private army. You know, the guys who captured Bin Laden. That's who I got on my team. I got guys that could capture Bin Laden. I'm just saying, man. Exactly. I got gamers. They'll get Bin Laden. You ain't safe in these streets. You ain't safe. My Glimmer Gamers. First you see a Glimmer, and then you don't.
JD Gamer, don't ever send him another super chat again. He exposed you like that.
Listen, I'm gonna make that a t-shirt, bro. The Glimmer Gamers. I'm gonna make one for the females and the males because y'all rufless. Y'all rufless, bro. Y'all be finding shit. Insane. Yo, these dudes. Oh,
why you getting chicken? Gamer.
You're gonna have to rewind a little bit.
I didn't even like that. I didn't like that.
But I got mad love for JD Gamer. Yo, listen, he's 10 tones down. He's 10 toes down on Xbox. I give him a prop. He is not flaking. He's not gonna switch. He's gonna sink with the ship. He's the captain. Boy, you cannot pull him off the boat. You could be like, bro, we got a bigger boat. Just jump on the bigger boat. He's like, nah, I want this one. Like it hit the iceberg. I don't give a fuck. Either fix it or I'm going down. Glenzer, Xbox went down faster than Spinks against Tyson. Oh, man. If y'all don't know about that one, go look it up on YouTube. Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks, and you'll see. 40 seconds. Yo, that's crazy. Glenzer's wild, bro.
That's 39 more seconds than Xbox would have lasted.
Oh, wow. That's 9 more seconds longer than what Xbox lasted? Ouch. Gordo P23. Phil Spencer should have gone into politics because the way he convinced millions of Xbox to become PC gamers was absolutely masterful. I am telling you, this guy literally is converting people to PC gaming and they don't even know it until it's too late. Oh, that shit is beautiful. Like, yo, the man, he sucks at consoles, but goddamn, he could convince a fan base to do something. It's masterful on that side. Glassdoor Gamer. This time next year will be fully third party. No hardware to discuss and only making a handful of games that they make 80% off their revenue like EA. I think it's like 70 with PlayStation, with the platform hardware and Steam and all that. But yeah. And Holomoko with the super chat. These Xbox are projecting. It's happening to Xbox. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Now let's look at Ghost in the Shell. Rogue Ally X. Oh, shit. Fucking Ghost. Is he still here? Or did he leave? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. Yeah, as you can see. Okay. Oh shit. Let's see what you got. You said, so this is for my PC guys. My 11-year-old wants to build a PC. His budget is $2,000. Man, that's good. Whatchamacallit? Allowance right there. You must be having to work the whole yard. Good on you.
Yeah, he worked pretty hard.
Shit. Did you got him on the W-2? You got to teach them about taxes. Yeah, like, hey, son, Uncle Sam's got to get their cut. All right. What say you a complete build case and all? He wants 4K 120 plus to play Fortnite. It's his money to burn, so let me know. Perpetuity says break down the difference between long-term investment or flash in a pan device. PC will be well equipped to handle certain aspects of gaming. As you said, 2K isn't bad, but it also isn't great for what he asked for. Holy shit.
What the fuck?
That's his budget. That's his budget. He worked the farm, and that's why he wants to spend money on. You could try to convince him to go 1440p, which would be easier to hold 120 on great settings at that price point. Holy shit. Here's a list for a great 1440p build, including cases and monitor, but it still went over $90 of the budget. Actually, he has a dope-ass monitor, so you are under budget. I mean, it's hard to do.
It was like $2,093.
Yeah, so all right. So I mean, it's hard
Listen,
to do ultra settings.
I just want to say this is why I don't like PC gamers as part of the conversation.
I'm so confused
because
bro.
when you're on console, they want to tell you, oh shit, I can have a fucking 8K 60 for $6.99
to beat the PS5
exactly
Pro.
You know,
but now
and
you
also
got
have enough budget for Big Mac at the end of the
we
day.
can't.
Yeah, no, that's not enough. You have $2,000 are like
we can't do shit with $2,000.
Wait, hold up, $2,000? Like, get your game up. What the fuck do you think this is? Like if you don't have at least $12,000, why are you even trying? Like,
bro.
It's wild. I was sitting there reading the comments, and I was like, God damn, I thought y'all was building PS5 Pros for $700, $800.
I'm telling you. But if you said
$2,000, that's it. He said
if
that's
you said
it?
another tweet, goes, you go ahead and you say my son wants to play Fortnite at 4K 120, and he's considering a PS5 Pro.
Oh yeah, you'll get your bill.
$700 PC. Oh,
You will
they'll
get your
be
bill.
like, are you serious? $700? That's $600 more than you need.
100% facts. 100% facts.
Oh man,
that's $600 more than you need.
Oh
Matter
man,
of fact,
they'll have that.
I'll do it for $200, and you can send me the $500.
Yo, if you would have said that, hey, give me a $2,000 PC 4K 120, or my son's buying a PS5 Pro. Oh, you best believe they get your bill ready. Oh, they got your bill.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Lazy gamer. I mean, it's hard to do ultra settings with that, but this is like 1,600 tax if you can get similar parts and deals. Just get a nice keyboard and mouse from the return Corsair site and get like $10 Windows key. So let's see what he put. Power supply. Got the CPU cooling. What else he got? AMD Radeon 9070. Right? 2 terabytes.
Yeah.
Okay. ATX case. Ryzen 7 7800. Okay. I mean, this is not bad.
No, it's not bad. I looked at it.
That's not bad.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing for me. I think it's terrible.
Why?
Because it has no pride of ownership. See, the thing about having a PC case is that you want to actually have a beautiful case. I'm sorry, I've never built a PC in an ugly case.
Oh, you don't want the?
I hate that
case.
case.
Looks like everybody
I hate
has
that
it.
case. Hideous.
Everybody has it.
Hideous.
Everybody has it.
Listen, Ghost. If this is a real question, I'll put together a build for you, okay? And then that shit is gonna look beautiful, okay? And we're not gonna chip it out, okay? Because I'm like, bro, I'm not talking. Listen, here's the thing: your son has $3,000. You have a lot. If I need to push you 4,000, I'm gonna do it. But that shit's going to look gorgeous.
I know you have money. We taking this shit to 4,000.
I'm listen, I'm going to take this shit to 4K 240. We're not doing this. Like, I hate these people. There's no pride of ownership. They're always trying to buy. Like, listen, what's the point of having 5090 in a $50 case? I've seen people do that. They're like, oh, I'm trying to save money. Nick, at 5090 prices, you trying to save money? No, ball out. Listen, save an extra couple of months and get yourself a beautiful looking case. If you do not have a Lian Li 11 case, I don't even know why we're talking about. Okay, now there's some cases that look nearly as good as a Lian Li case, but listen, man, get yourself a beautiful Lian Li case. It's nice and easy to work in. It's got beautiful features. It's easy to build in. It's a case you almost want to open again.
He wants a
That's
Keter's.
disgusting.
He wants a Keter's or a case.
Okay, I'm a Lian Li shield, by the way. You gotta listen. Go and take a look at the Lian Li 011 XL. Okay, it's 11D XL. Wow,
That's the case I had on one of my PCs.
that's the case
He
I
wants,
have.
What is it, Lian
he wants
Li?
to,
So Lian Lian, and then Li again, separate word, and then 011D SL. That's the case I have. It's a beautiful case. Okay.
SL or XL?
XL. Okay, we're going big. I want this motherfucker to take up space in your house.
he wants my little man wants a Keeters, the ATX.
I listen, I haven't even looked at case designs in a while, man. Ever since I built my PC like 5 years ago, I haven't even looked at new cases. There's some beautiful cases out there. But man, if your case doesn't cost at least $200 on a $2,000 budget, look at that beautiful thing. Look at that beautiful thing. You gotta look at the product pictures, though. Come on, man. You gotta this is the Amazon pictures. Find me the marketing pictures.
I'm looking like this shit.
I want to see a built version. I want to see a built up version. This is naked. Okay, you're not supposed to see her like this. Okay, this is like looking underneath your couch. You're not supposed to see her like that.
I'm like, this thing's looking dookie.
This guy's looking at the wireframe. Listen, this is how you know he's not a PC gamer. You're supposed to find the one with the parts.
I said a lead with the case.
Marketing photos. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
That shit look dookie.
Wait to ruin your point.
That shit
what happens when you let a non-PC gamer, try to...
Hey, I'm not selling PC gaming to anybody. I'm like, yo, this thing. I'm like, yo, this thing looks dookie. I'm like, yo, what the fuck am I looking at?
Man.
I'm thinking at first,
you got the wireframe set up.
At first, I'm thinking, did I get the right product? This thing's looking dookie. All right, hold on. Crypto, let me see. Let me in the chat.
Listen, I'm gonna send you a DM.
Let me see.
Go to the Twitters. People got to see the case. I'm gonna make my point over here.
How about this?
Jesus
How about
Christ.
this? Oh man, this looks even worse. Oh man.
We're trying to make our points over here.
This was like the shit I got in 2000.
Go down. Stop seeing it naked.
Okay,
this is not the photo you're supposed to see.
Oh, is this
the
footage
seeing
right
the lingerie on the rack. You've got there we go.
One?
See,
okay.
Okay. What are we seeing?
Right. Like, how many GPUs does this thing hold? Okay.
11.
Oh, that's the fan up there. This is 11.
11.
like okay. All right. See,
so
there we go.
Right.
Okay, now we're looking. Now it's looking nice. Okay.
There we go. Oh, they've got this is the Evo XL. This is even better than mine. See? That's nice. Because they got rid of the... Okay, I see what they did. That's beautiful.
Okay.
So check out the Keeters or the Kiters case. It's the one my little dude wants.
Where you have it at? It's in your...
AEIER.
What's it called?
Listen, if that case doesn't at least cost $250, you shouldn't get it.
AEIER?
No, Caters. KEIDER.
KEIDER. Cater what?
The ATX case.
Cater ATX. Okay, Cater ATX tower. All right. Hope you don't show us some bullshit too. Let's see. Get some images right here.
That looks like a case a kid would want. That's what it looks like.
These things?
That thing looks like a Transformers on
that's what he wanted. He's a big Gundam fan. He wants one to look like Gundam.
Yeah, that looks like a Gundam
on like that one?
Yeah, that's the one.
That looks like some shit you see in like Horizon Forbidden West or some shit.
Yeah.
The second one.
No, not that one. The one at second from the top. Why you always go to like the least attractive photo? You really hate PC gaming, don't you?
It says second from the top.
That was definitely not what you clicked on before.
I say, but this is the one you're talking about?
Yeah,
that's the one.
The blue, right next to the white like Lian Leon case, the one that looks like a a subwoofer, the second one.
Oh, it's in the second row?
No, the first picture, then the second picture.
First picture, second picture. So this one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, he's getting that case, and then I just kind of put it out there. I was like, man, so how would you, the $2,000 budget now is down to $1,900, and I'm trying to teach him a lesson.
This motherfucker looks like it will like transform into like a security bot. Look at this motherfucker. This motherfucker's bad as fuck. Oh no, what the fuck is that? That shit's made out of wood? Get back here. Yeah, you look at that shit. Let's see, open picture. Where's the?
Yo, listen, what I will say about your son's choice of a case is that your cable management has to be on point.
That shit looks like it's ready to kill you.
That looks horrible.
That shit looks like it's like you walk in a room when you're not supposed to, arms and legs will come out.
It looks like a motorbike helmet. That's what it looks like.
That motherfucker look like it's ready to fuck you up. Go ahead and don't do that firmware update and see what happens.
And it's huge.
Yo, that kind of case looks like
this is
wait a minute, is this a PC case? On point,
oh yeah, this is the PC case I'm getting.
Forward.
This motherfucker, yup. When I get my PC,
you like the Illuminati, man.
Yup, this is it right here. I found my PC case. This is it right here. I don't give a fuck if the thing is hot or terrible cooling. I don't care. This shit looks like I'm gonna be the Illuminati. Look at that. Oh yeah. That shit's a pyramid.
Yo, people want you to look up a 5090 in a micro ATX case. Can people even do that? Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, let me see. 5090 in a micro ATX case. 5090 in a micro.
Yo, so here's the thing, Ghost. Are you gonna build it yourself? Because if I was building that case, I would get someone else to do it. There's no way I will build in that case.
We're gonna do it together, you know what I'm saying? And so
because it has dual tempered glass on both sides.
Yep.
So your cable management is going to have to be on motherfucking point. That's the one thing I like about my case. The other side is solid, so I don't have to get cable management right. It's disgusting. It looks like a spaghetti nest.
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess that would be it, right? That would be like a tiny... Oh, man, that thing is squeezed in there. See, the thing is, I like micro ATX cases. I will never build it myself, ever. I will always get someone else to do it.
Holy shit. You have to build the case around the GPU.
Yeah. That's just something for me and my...
Wow. Yo. Like, first you get the GPU, and then you add all the parts on top of it. That shit is wild. I would love to see the YouTube video on that sucker. That is wild.
Yeah, I'm seeing the YouTube video on your son's case, and man, that thing is tough to build in.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. I've been watching it. But then we just do some stuff, like we do little stuff like that. Like I got him. I sold my Demon 170, and I traded for a Supra shell. So I got a 1996, just a shell of a Supra, and we're hunting for parts and an engine, and we're gonna build it and clean it, and you know what I'm saying. And it's just something that we do together. It's I always envisioned, I didn't have a pops growing up, so I was like, when I have kids, I'm gonna build shit with them. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Let me do some super chat. JD Gamer, he says, "Is that the best you can do? A 4-year-old super chat? Do better. Here's a prediction: Xbox will become the default gaming platform. It will be everywhere. My boy, there won't be an Xbox. You'll be a Windows 11 PC gamer."
Hey, listen, JD Gamer, with your track record, just send me 7 numbers for the lottery, and I'll make sure not to include those. Just
because those are definitely coming out. You can at least eliminate like 1 out of the 10 billion combinations. That's one less in the group of numbers you have to worry about.
I can get those out.
JD spent 100 to be wrong. JD equals just Destin. Oh man, like Destin Legary. Oh man. Yo, Glassdoor, that's messed up. JD Gaber, shout out to you. He says JD spent 100 because he can, and we shall see next gen. Oh, so now you gotta wait till next gen to get what you want. My brother, man, listen, just get the Pro, bro. Just get the PS5 Pro. Really, get a true console. Just get the Pro. Start investing your money on the PS5 Pro and PS5 console gaming. That way, when the PlayStation 6 comes out, you know, you're the console gamer. You know, you got your console gaming on. I mean, you're going to play the Xbox games anyway. So you're still technically playing Xbox games on a console. You know, it's the same thing. Glassdoor Gamer, JD Gamer, your next gen is on PS6. All right, let's do the final part. I know, so apparently tomorrow is when the hatchet is coming. The big layoffs for Microsoft. So they're saying tomorrow is going to be the day. Lots and lots of people, right? I personally think a big portion of the layoffs is going to be in the hardware division. I have a feeling the hardware division is going to feel the burn. Because if Microsoft's not doing hardware themselves, it's primarily going to be put in the hands of third party. You know, Dell, Asus. I mean, we don't know who the contract or who they're going to go after as part of their vision. But you don't have to have an inherent internal hardware development team if you're just going to hand it off to actual hardware guys who know, they build PCs all the time. So they don't really need Microsoft help. It's just really Microsoft doing the software. So Microsoft will focus more on their software, games and Windows 11 and Game Pass, and then they'll just get the hardware companies, and I have a feeling the whole AMD collaboration is just, if you want an Xbox branding, you have to use AMD. Like, you can't use Intel and NVIDIA. And I think that's what it is, right? But I don't think it's going to be anything crazy where Microsoft is creating, like, bespoke technology, right? Like, bespoke APUs, like, really centric one device type hardware, kind of like the Series X. I don't think they're really doing stuff like that, right? I know. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's a bit of a weird situation where there basically was an announcement for these layoffs coming. So it's like, for people have been anticipating this for like a week now. It's a bit weird. That went out into the Twitter streets and everything like that. Listen, I don't believe that Xbox has any future in hardware of their own anymore. So I guess I'm inclined to agree with you, unless those people are going to be tasked to be working on different pieces of hardware within Microsoft. Maybe they want a smartwatch, maybe they want, another Surface or whatever it is. But yeah, the console side, clearly they're moving away from that, right? Like, we can read the to wait for them to show us. We can tell. So yeah, probably. But for me, the thing is that these are exactly the things that people were warning about when this whole notion of Microsoft buying all of these publishers was coming around, because that was obviously what was going to happen. Obviously, like, you can't have, like, ZeniMax had their own marketing department. Activision Blizzard had their own marketing department. Xbox always had their own marketing department. So even just from that alone, you can tell that you're not going to keep, 17 different marketing departments going all concurrently, having to collaborate with each other and navigate with each other. People redundant. So there was always that, And the other thing is this. I don't think this shit has worked out. Like, I don't think the ABK acquisition has worked out the way that Microsoft wanted it to. And I think that they took on a lot more studios than were strictly necessary. Because here's what I think. Activision and all the studios from Activision are basically just going to come to Call of Duty. I think they're just going to feed the biggest revenue generator. And all of these notions that people had about, they're going to bring back these other niche franchises, they have so much IP that they could resurrect. I think that is not happening. And I think they're going to get rid of anybody that was ever going to make a smaller or even a breakout game that was going to come out of nowhere. I think that's it. Innovation is dead. They're going to treat this like a factory. They're going to make it lean and efficient, and you're going to be producing Call of Duty games, basically for the longest part. I also think that Starfield, like if I was working for Bethesda games in any capacity, I would feel, a little bit insecure about my job because Starfield was a colossal failure. That they betted, because apparently they bought ZeniMax partly to make sure that Starfield will not be kept exclusive from them. So it's like you make that bet on that horse, and then you find out that it has a limp. That's what it had. So listen, I think that the hardware team is going to see a lot of cuts, but I do think that a lot of the studios and software teams are also going to go because they are not trying to be creative. They are trying to produce, you know, factory like efficiency in their process. That's what I think.
I think also, I mean, you gotta look at it like Activision has what 12, 13,000 employees, and ZeniMax has 3 or 4,000. I mean, that's a lot of staff to take on when you purchase those companies. You know what I mean? That's a lot of overheads, a lot of people on payroll, 401k, health insurance, all that stuff. So like, I'm gonna agree with both of you that they're gonna get rid of a lot of redundancies, in positions, and then they're gonna start cutting back on the studios that don't produce, and Sony caught a lot of flack for that when they shut down some of their Japan studios. They weren't producing games, and they were just on the payroll, right? And I think that you're seeing that same methodology here. It's something that I would do, especially we consolidated another company, and they had a lot of redundant positions. That's business. It sucks, but at the same token, you took on a whole lot, and with taking on a whole lot, you took on a lot of overhead. And so if your name of the game is you're pivoting to this software strategy to improve revenue, then yeah, you're gonna have to cut. You're gonna have to cut a lot of fat, and unfortunately, as we'll see tomorrow, we'll see, if it's studio closings or if it's personnel or anything like that. And it sucks because this is, like Em said, this is what we told everyone about. And the thing is, all during that time period where we were going back and forth, console war or whatever you want to call it, but we were just stating anybody with some common sense or anybody with that's been in the market or has seen the failures of a lot of these guys that are on Twitter weren't around during Sega days, and there's a lot of correlation between Mike or what Xbox is doing and Sega, and so it sucks, and we're gonna find out tomorrow and just see how how big that axe is, and I wish those people the best, but that's part of work. And Microsoft is just going to streamline, or Xbox is going to streamline themselves to make themselves more profitable.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the biggest crutch, the biggest. Let's be honest. The biggest hurdle issue that Xbox really has now is their hardware. That's at the crux of everything, right? And these Xbox fanboys or whatever, they're still trying to hold on to something that's clearly. Like, a lot of people ain't buying it, right? It's at its weakest as in brand history. It's losing strength all over on the world. It got worse over time. It's just bad. The hardware is just bad, right? And then with the purchase of Activision and ABK and Bethesda, just like Extreme said, it put a target on the division's back, because now big Microsoft's like, wait a minute, we spent like $70-80 billion. So we got to streamline the stuff. We're streamlining stuff. There's no more freebies. Tighten up the ship, right? And refocus the energy, right? I know Mike Ibarra talked about he hated this little quasi hardware stuff. I personally don't think Microsoft has a quasi hardware stuff. I think they reasonably know that their future for success is being 100% software provider. But what they're doing is they're trying to find a way to get out of hardware without the slap in the face. Without the blowback, right? So, they found a way to convince at least their loudest advocates, because that's really what it is. It's their loudest advocates still saying that these devices are Xbox. Instead of calling it for what it is, they're just PCs that Microsoft's trying to slap their name on and nothing more. But they're falling for the whole hybrid or console, or they're falling for the marketing stuff. And that's probably the biggest thing that Laura Fryer got flack at, because she said it. It's all marketing. All of this stuff is PC devices. Microsoft is just using marketing to try to convince you otherwise, right? To try to convince you that it's Xbox hardware. It's not Xbox hardware. It's PC hardware on devices that's already created. They would have been made with or without Xbox. Microsoft's just using the opportunity to put their name on it, so that way the diehard Xbox and influencers, they don't get called out for completely leaving the hardware business, right? And these hardware guys, or I mean, these influencers and enthusiasts from the Xbox side are literally cheering the how would you say, the
their own
marketing
demise,
right? Yeah. Crazy part
cheering
is
for their
though,
own demise.
yeah, the crazy part is, how do the gamers not get sick of it? Because these influencers have been spreading bullshit all 5 years. From Xbox Series S is actually competent compared to the PS5. I remember they pushed that agenda, that the PS5 and Xbox Series S are more closer together in power and performance. And while the Xbox Series X is just a way ahead, 4K 60 and even 4K 120, while the PS5 and Xbox Series S, they'll be the lower weaker platforms. And look where we're at today. They can't even get 30 frames on Starfield, but on the PS5 you can. They talked about how Microsoft's going to get the mind share because Xbox has the cheapest entry level to next gen gaming, to the current gen, at $300. Not only did that not happen, it now costs $400, $420. It's more expensive than the PS5. And then with the purchase of Bethesda and ABK exclusives, they're not getting them. And then when we told them that it was going third party and that they're going to PlayStation, they said, no, it's only 4. Was these old games? Yeah, you ain't getting the Gears. You're not getting the Halo. You're not getting the Forza. We got the Gears, the Halo, and the Forza. Or Halo's coming soon. Yep. So at what point do the people listening to the influencers like, bro, you guys have been spreading bullshit for 4 years. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you've been telling us all this shit and none of it happened. The complete opposite happened. Now we're supposed to listen to you about the future hardware when you guys couldn't get this gen right to begin with. That's really like the influencers. They're gonna say what they're gonna say, right? The graph, the algorithm, the hits. That comes whether you're right or wrong, right? Usually, I mean, even the bigger the graph, the more the hits, right? But if you've been listening to these guys since 2020, at what point do you say to yourself, like, man, these last 5 years, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Like, you haven't got anything right this gen. At what point do you be like, yeah, I'm not listening to these guys. These guys don't got nothing. They got nothing consistent. They haven't been consistent with the information. They haven't been consistent with their predictions. They haven't been consistent with how things are going to turn out. In fact, it just got worse. No one predicted that, at least 20 years, 5 years ago, whatever, I mean, I ain't gonna say no one on the Xbox side. Our side of the house, we were like, things ain't looking too well. You know. It's funny, the guys that keep touting, like JD Gamer, oh yeah, Xbox is gonna dominate, whatever. They're the first ones to hate talking about actual console sales and console sales data. That's what I find funny. Yeah. The people who hype Xbox dominating, they don't like people talking about console sale data. Wonder why. Yeah. That makes no sense. Then don't hype Xbox dominating, because console sale data will show you who's dominating. It's weird. It's just weird stuff that's going on here.
You saw the constant pivots, right? Like, when at the beginning of this generation, when we first started out, everything was neck and neck, and then you slowly saw, and what's crazy is they had everything working for them. I mean, they supposedly bought chip, overabundance. They had a cheaper entry, console. They had Game Pass. They had all these controllers or whatever the case may be, but and they still couldn't move their consoles. And you all have been doing this a lot longer than I have, but even going back to last generation, the decline in the decline in their hardware, and you can't go through too many generations, especially back to back ones. With constant declines and losing market share, and not putting out games. And I know you're going to hear, well, we got games now, 5 years in. and it's like it's a little bit too much, too late, right? And the writing's been on the wall, and everyone, at least on the PlayStation side, and people with common sense tried to tell them that, and they just didn't want to hear it. And then, of course, you had Phil Spencer and gang up there, perpetuating the lie and trying to get them to hold on, right, and hold the line. And look where we're at now.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
the
that's
funny
the thing.
thing is,
They made
go
it.
ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say that they made it more about personality. Like even to this day, people will throw themselves in front of a bus to protect Phil Spencer. Like all of the moves that have been made in the last, well, pretty much ever since his tenure began as the head of Xbox, people say, "Oh no, that was Satya Nadella. Oh no, that was Don Matrick. Oh no, that was Laura Fire." Like it doesn't matter who it is. Like this new pivot, they'll be like, "Oh, that's Sarah Bond." Like it's never, if it's something they don't like, it is never Phil Spencer's responsibility, even though you are the head of the company and the buck is meant to stop with you. Because here's the thing, Satya Nadella may be the head of Microsoft, but you are supposed to be the expert in your department, and you are supposed to be the one protecting the vision of what your department is meant to bring. So if Satya Nadella was the problem, right, the reason that you put everything third party, then you should have been the one to protect, Xbox from the pressures that were going to force it to go third party. You should have been the one to go like, yeah, you know what? Activision Blizzard will be a cool purchase, but if we take a look at strategy, this would force such a massive pivot that we will lose our brand identity and we will have to exit the console market, which it is that they are doing now. So for me, this has always been Phil Spencer's plan. I don't think that this came from Satya Nadella exclusively. I think Phil Spencer, from the longest, has always had an attitude of, I don't want to have studios. I don't want to like have to build them up and do everything. I want to buy talent. I think that's just part of Microsoft's DNA anyway. They are not they are usually very happy to purchase things that are already successful rather than build it up themselves. I think he always had the attitude of I want to buy studios. I think he always had the attitude of exclusives at the end of the day are not that important. So if you have to have them, absolutely. But if I can get away from that, then that's what I'm going to do. But like I said, you say these things, and despite all of his track record, people are going to jump in front of a train in order to protect him from what they see as a bad business move. So I don't know. It became to me like it's a cult of personality. They care way more about Phil Spencer than they care about Xbox itself. Like you can disparage Xbox. You can call Xbox a transbox now. You can say it's a PC that identifies as a console, and they will be like, yes, you're right. That's what it is. But then you say, oh, Xbox is a bad leader. And it's like, no, he saved Xbox. So you say Phil Spencer is a bad leader, and they will say, no, he saved Xbox. We have Xbox because of him. No, you don't. You lost it because of him. But hey, that's just me.
All right. Last super chat, Mount Cash. Thank you for the super chat. Says gamers planning to stay with Xbox are going to be transitioning to being Windows PC gamers. Those who want to remain console gamers will transition to PS, and I think that's ultimately what's going to end up happening. Only because the main thing is going to be the price. You have a decent amount of people who bought the Xbox Series S for $300. They didn't buy the Series X. They bought the Series S. They took the cheap option. To try to get those gamers to go from 300 to like 9+, that's a big steep. That's a huge leap. And they're going to be like, why the hell am I jumping to so much? And I think even the $900, pre-built whatever device, it's not going to be all that powerful. It's not going to have like cutting edge hardware that competes, right? It's going to be like the lower spec GPU, CPU. They overcharge everything because it's pre-built. I would imagine just having the word Xbox on it, they're just going to have a surcharge on that. So $900, you're going to, to have a good machine out of this deal that they're pushing out, you're going to be spending like $1,500 to have a, especially if you want to be comparable to a PlayStation 6. Yeah, you're dropping $1,600 or more. Some
And
of those
like
gamers
Ghost
aren't gonna
just
do
showed
that.
before, $2,000 isn't enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
barely.
Yeah.
$2,000
That's
on
not even
okay,
enough.
120.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Like so.
They said Ghost, get your money up. That's what they said.
Get your money up. He's like, what the hell?
They said get your money up. You
Yo,
want
it's
to
crazy.
ball hard? You gotta play
we
hard.
went from I mean, like even, and I showed this. Let me do this right here. Let me look at this. How much this sucker cost? Let's see. This one has what type of GPU this one has? Let me see. This is an Asus Nook. Where's the GPU? Damn, you got like 50 specifications on this. Windows, Asus recommend Intel Core, single channel, SSD, supporting whatever. This thing doesn't even have an actual GPU. Let me look for one that has a GPU. Intel graphics integrated. No, this is integrated. Like, okay, let me see. Let me see one that has an actual GPU built in. Another integrated. Intel Art Graphics. Intel Art Graphics. No, we need NUG Gaming PC. Okay, let me click on that. All right, let's see what we got here. This is 5080. Yeah, we're not gonna go that high. Let's go with something a little bit cheaper. Okay, a 4070. Let's say a 4070. Yeah, that's not bad, right? I mean, that's about a little bit better than a Pro, right? 4070 is better than a PS5 Pro. Is that fair to say?
I'll
right
go
here.
4080 just to be sure, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, but let's say 47, 4060, right? All right, Ultra Intel, Ultra 9.7, 4070, 4060, so either or. You see this case, it's modular, looks like a console. Comes with a stand, unlike the Pro, right? Everybody loves a stand now. Now everybody wants a stand. You can do all the things you can. How much does this sucker cost? $1,799. $1,800 for this.
I love it.
$1,800. Yeah, console gamers ain't gonna jump to this, especially for 4070.
Also,
4070.
there's one thing about the graphics cards, right? Some of them, for example, a 4070 laptop card is not the same as a 4070 desktop card. So
this
that's
could be
another
a
thing that you have
4070
to
laptop.
check. You have to check which version, like specification, is it, because Nvidia
This
likes to
is-
get away with that branding where they make you think it's gonna have the same performance,
But it
but you
doesn't.
really find out that like a 4080 laptop is like a 4060 Ti desktop card. You know,
Yeah,
in terms
this
of
might be
performance.
this might be, depending how big this thing is, this might be the laptop version, because this could be like integrated, like the way they design laptops, the
Exactly.
integrated motherboard. This thing could be an integrated motherboard, so that 4070, 4060 could be the laptop version, and you're not gonna
So
get
exactly.
the
So
same
when we
performance
speak
as a
about the
desktop.
4070 being more powerful than the Pro, we're talking about the full desktop card that has adequate air cooling and everything else going on. So that's just another thing. I'm not saying that ROG doesn't have
but it could
the
be. We
actual
have
card.
to.
I'm just saying you have to check.
Somebody has to, maybe
because
like a
that's how
video
you can
breakdown, a
you can
digital
get suckers
foundry.
into it.
Right? Because you've noticed Digital Foundry, when they compare the PS5 Pro or gaming, they use gaming desktops. They don't pull up a laptop to do their head-to-heads and their analysis, because you're not going to get that performance out of the laptop. It's just not. That's a good point. So if they go, that would be interesting. If they do build these modular stuff, but they fabricate it no different than their laptops, you are not getting that desktop performance. And you're still gonna overcharge the shit out of you.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
So just watch out for that, guys. Watch out for those kind of things, because when you're talking to these PC gamers, you need to know PC gamers are incredibly dishonest. Okay, incredibly dishonest. I remember the very first time that I was like looking to build my first computer, and it was a complete shit show, because people like you go with any budget to Reddit and you'll be laughed out of the room. You could go with $5,000 and people will laugh you out of the room, because apparently that's like, it doesn't matter what it is that you go. You know, unless you're like, okay, my budget is unlimited, nobody likes you. So there you go. Oh, also, in the DMs for later, I sent you the best PC case for Ghost Son. Actually, probably for Ghost. Ghost, I said I have your next PC case. You guys just tell me this isn't going to be the best case you've ever seen.
It's gonna be interesting. All right, I think that wraps up the show.
Yo, check out my DM, bro. Why you gonna do me like that?
What?
I just told you. I'm trying to show the people the coolest thing ever.
Like, what are you showing me? What? Let me see. Let me look at the DM. What is it? The case?
The case, bro. Show the peoples.
You sure you want to show them this?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm messing with you. All right.
You gotta show them this. This is for you people. Okay? Not that. The link I sent. That was the previous thing. This is my case, by the way. This is my case. Forget about that. The other link, the latest I sent
the
you.
YouTube link. All right. The YouTube link. All right.
Yeah,
All right,
YouTube
what's
link.
this? What's
There
this?
we go.
What's this link about?
About a
This
PC
is not
case.
an April
Well
Fool's joke
done.
this time.
It's about what?
Look at that. Look at that beauty.
Genuinely the best case I've seen at
What is
Computex.
starting
For
over?
real, I'm not joking. This is not
I
an
put
April
you
Fool's
there.
joke this time.
That
First
shit looks like the original, like legacy cases with the floppy disks.
Yeah, the IBMs. Yeah.
Yeah.
of all, it's not April. Secondly, Silverstone is actually making this. This is the FLPO2. They are for real going into mass production. It's themed to look old. That's super cool. So on the front, there's this cluster of buttons that some of you who worked on maybe 286 through 486 era would definitely recognize some of the early Pentiums as well. But there's a power switch which actually does follow the lock. So this key, all of this stuff is functional, which is cool. None of this is just for looks. So the lock, that's currently unlocked. That would allow me to toggle the power. And then they're also going to have it lock and restrict the reset button once they're in mass production as well. Turbo actually does something. So this connects to a PWM hub, and pushing the turbo button says 99, and that is because it is adjusting the fan speed. So that just set the fans to basically 100% or exactly 100%. It's still a real case though. So this is based on existing tooling. We're going to get into that, but they also have some other cases here today we're going to talk about, including a more modern case, the LDO5. And I'll also be joined by Tony, someone technical from Silverstone. I've been working with him for over a decade now. Cool guy. And we'll talk with him about some applications of home server type of hardware. So they have some really interesting mechanical solutions for things like video cards in rack mount server boxes that Wendell's been talking about recently. So that's what we're going to go over. Before that, this video is brought to you by the Montech HSO1 and HSO2 cases. The HSO1 and HSO2 cases differ by way of a mesh front or a curved glass front. We previously reviewed these cases in our intensive benchmarking process and found them to be overall high build quality, with thermals comparable between the two designs. The rear chamber of the case uniquely brings the power supply forward and perforates the rear wall of the case, allowing for more air movement internally while providing a different look. The rear of the case uses a fan mounting mechanism for two separate fans that can be coupled together with a plate, improving convenience. The HSO1 and HSO2 also invert with minimal effort, allowing the computer to present to the opposite side without needing to reconfigure the entire build. Learn more at the links.
He said, "Why am I watching that?" I was just
in the description below. All right, so that is a lock, and releasing it allows the. Let me try and do this one-handed. There we go. Allows the slot cover to come out. Man. And so this mechanism they were telling us is actually very difficult from a manufacturing perspective, just because it can create a kind of a weaker point. So what they might change it to, it sounds like, is this 3D printed mock-up. So this is also a front cover. Again, it's a 3D print, and it functions the same way on the front, but on the back, they've got a much stronger and more resilient mechanism for it. So that's probably what's going to MP. But pretty cool stuff. Internally, so the back currently has a 120mm fan. It can fit a 140. The top can actually fit a 360. So it's got some of the modern features you would get. And it also has a vertical GPU mount option. Now, this is only a 2-slot wide mount. You'd be pretty restricted based on what kind of card you put in there. And then there is also a vertical GPU support. So this is also a more modern feature. You wouldn't have needed that back in the day. But otherwise, the rest of it's probably pretty familiar. Now, I asked Silverstone if there were any specific sources of inspiration for this, and the answer was, well, we basically Googled old computers and picked bits and pieces from all of them that we liked, and then we made this box. So fair enough. For ventilation on the front, computers back in this era, if they want to be era appropriate, which they do, really wouldn't have breathed a whole lot. So this is the only area for intake on the front. The top you lose to the drives and to the display, which is totally fine. That's what they're trying to do. And then the actual top panel of the case is more standard, so that comes off. It's got a dust filter in it, and then you can see down there they've got multiple radiator size options, and so that looks kind of more typical. Backside's got all the modern cable management, so it's just a mix of things, old and new. For pricing, supposed to be probably $220. There's a giant maybe on there because that is based on the current tariff situation, so that might change. For the European audience, they're looking at less than 200 euros, might be around 200 euros. It's probably a more reliable number to go on because it's more stable right now. And otherwise, the remainder, they're just trying to do things like hide as much of the modern feature set as possible, like this.
Holy cow, how long is this
because
video?
they don't want to break.
Minutes.
I don't have to watch the entire thing. I just wanted to show the case.
Okay. So you like old shit?
Yeah. No. I'm just saying that the retro
Oh shit,
look is
Ghost
cool.
left. He's like,
If
I
you
ain't
could-
watching this
If
shit.
you have that shit in black, that would be fire. Like, honestly, I think I think it would be so cool. I like sleeper things. I like things that are powerful, but on the outside they don't look like they are. And I think this is like the perfect example of that for.
Oh, you
a
like
PC
sleeper
case, you know?
builds.
Yeah, exactly. Put yourself your 5080, your 5090 in there. When people come to rob your house,
Man, what
they're gonna
is this
leave you
old
behind.
looking shit?
Like, Jesus Christ. I used to have this back in my day, though.
Yeah.
Just
And then you tell me it still works. I could run programs. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden
You
you're
know,
beast in
MS-DOS.
Cyberpunk. And they're like, what the fuck?
Just you know what you should put? A Windows 98 sticker on it.
Oh,
just to really sell it.
And then like a little thing that says powered by Pentium.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Fully lean into
Pentium
it.
2.
No one would ever steal your shit.
People come in, oh yeah, I got the latest. I got Pentium 2. They'd be like,
yeah.
Okay, sure. You want to check it out? And then you put a game like a 4K 240 FPS.
You put Crysis
you got a
on it.
5090 on it.
It can run Crysis.
I'll be honest. All right, man. Let them know where you're gonna find you, brother. You did another video.
Hey,
Did you
listen,
drop some
people,
goodness?
I haven't dropped a video in a while. I've been thinking about the lower fire stuff, and I don't want to do it. You know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of talking to a community that doesn't care to listen,
I know
and
what you
in
mean.
fact is willfully ignorant. You know, like they like it's on purpose. They want to do this shit on purpose. So now I'm just like, you know what? Let me not talk every single time they say something stupid. I'm not gonna talk about it. Like I'm done. And we've
Like
said everything
suffer.
that there is to be said. You know, this is it. We've won. We're past winning. We've already celebrated it, and now we're just seeing the inevitable natural consequence of losing happen to the other side. So it is what it is. So you know what? I'm actually glad we talked about these PC cases because that's what we're going to talk about next. Listen, guys, there was a 6-hour stream on Friday from your man Podrock over here. Okay, you can find me there because around 3 hours I come in, and that's when it gets fun. Okay, so if you tapped out, if you tapped out of that 6-hour stream before you saw me come through, skip
Come back.
forward through about whenever you see me appear, because then the
And
fun
boom.
conversations. Because listen, we had a PC gamer there. Disgusting. He bought us games like Perfect Tower 2. If you don't know what a game like Perfect Tower 2 is,
look it up.
You don't want to know. Don't Google it. Don't look
Google
it up.
it. Google
Trust
it.
me.
No, do it.
Trust me. But
Do
he had
it.
27. You know what? Podor, show the people 2,700 hours in it. Show the people what we had to deal with. Show the people that the lies and the fraudery I exposed on that stream for your viewing pleasure. Okay? So you go ahead and you find me there. No channel today, but I want you to know I did the Lord's work, okay, on that stream. So make sure you go back and you watch it because every single thing that this man tried to slip by us, I stopped him. I was like, this is the border protection, okay? I was at ICE on these topics. I deported them. This is Perfect Tower 2 you're seeing. This is a game this literal human being spent 2,700 hours on. 2,700. That is like you could become a piano prodigy at 10,000. He spent over a fifth of that time, over a quarter of that time on Perfect Tower 2. And these are the people, these are the PC gamers they want Microsoft virtue. This is what they want you to become. This is your future. Okay? The Hunger Games will be a better world. So make sure that you go and you watch that stream, because that was some fun time. And at the end, we found out he didn't even own his own PC. Spoiler alert. Okay? And you best know that I made sure that he felt embarrassed about it. Okay? Because that's what I'm there for. So what I want you to say, Porter Rock, is that you should always invite me to Friday night because I'm such a nice, calm, and reasonable person.
That's because I
whenever
didn't have
you have a PC personality,
listen, if I don't have a guest, obviously all are welcome. If I don't have a guest, I didn't have a guest. Doc wasn't a guest. I think he just jumped in. No.
You know what? If you ever have guests in the Gary, invite me.
No,
great things are gonna happen.
The room is locked. The room is locked.
Great things are gonna happen.
The room is locked. That room is locked.
Great things are gonna happen. You know, who else?
No.
If for some reason you ever get Colt Eastwood, invite me.
No.
Hey, I will be so calm and so chill.
No.
You know?
60 frames don't like, unless they don't come.
On Friday night.
It would have to be 60 frames no lag. That's your only opportunity. If they don't come to that,
I'm innocent.
It ain't gonna happen. It's all
I
right.
want you to know. You can go back to that stream.
I will not incriminate you. You will not be incriminated. I'll protect you. You won't be incriminated.
See, the thing is incriminating me in things I didn't do. I'm so good. I'm welcoming to people.
No. So yep.
You know what I am?
That's why I lock the rooms. That's why I lock the rooms when I have guests. Everybody's like, I can't get in Discord. I know. I know. My problem is I forget. I forget to unlock it.
Don't listen to him, okay? Don't listen to him. If you are a potential guest of Podorx coming through on Friday night, tell him I want Emmanuel to drop by, okay? I want Extreme. Just tell him. Tell him he'll have to let it in.
No,
make it a condition of your attendance. Because
listen.
I'm innocent.
I control the controls. It ain't happening. I'm like, listen, you don't know what you're asking for, so it's not gonna happen. If you want Extreme, come Tuesday. You'll get Extreme. You can get all the Extreme you want. Come Tuesday. Listen.
I'm innocent, okay? Oh, also, by the way, Mooch, come on. Man, listen, there's a lot of things for Extreme to clean up on your podcast. Mooch, you should invite me one of these nights that Deaf Singers on, okay? I'm so calm. I'm so chill. You love
Hit him up. He'll have you on. I don't think Mooch will have you on all the time.
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you, Mooch needs me. He needs me, okay? Because listen, the only people that have actually tried to do that at the New Yorkers, thank God Jay Barry exists in the community, okay? Thank you. But Jay Barry doesn't have that Australian style to him, okay? He wasn't born in an island in the middle of the way. Like, y'all think you don't give a fuck about anyone, but that's because you're on an island. But I'm on a bigger island.
That's true. It is a bigger island.
That's the difference.
It's a huge island.
Island people, we are the ones that will tell it like it is. You can't trust people from the mainland, okay? If you live on a continent, except for Australia, you don't got it. You don't got it like that, okay? But the bigger the island, the better. Okay, Manhattan is small. Manhattan is like, I don't even know. It's even bigger than Tasmania, probably. I'm from a big island. You need me, okay? Because there's a lot of truths that needs to be spoken to Deaf Singer over there. And, I can only trust Extreme to do it.
All right.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that when I said you should invite me to all your podcasts, your guests are going to love me. It's
all right.
Hey, Power Boss, come back, huh? Come back. Come to 60 frames, no lag. You'll love it.
Yeah, 60 frames, no lag. That's where you could get all the M you want. Friday's the safe space. You know, Friday's the safe space.
Oh my God, Nate Dogg said that Def Singer will murk M. Oh
yeah,
man,
I saw that.
why?
I knew you were gonna see that.
Why? Oh, why? Why would you say something like that? Why? Nate Dogg, come on, man. Come on. I'm a nice and innocent
Nate Dogg,
person.
Warren G got to
Listen,
regulate.
I'm from Australia. I'm practically an endangered species. Why would you say he
Endangered
will
species.
murk me? You know how dangerous this place is? I saw a spider the other day, looked it up. Oh, was poisonous. I'm
Oh,
telling
man.
you, it's
In his
what
house.
happens.
All right. Hey, this is your only friends you do two streets, Porter Rock 77. Thank you for rocking out with another live. Don't forget on your way out to like this, of course, share this out. Hope you enjoyed the show. This Friday, I already have my guest lined up.
Oh, really?
I got the bot father himself, Next Gen 720, King Adderall. King Adderall himself. You know what I'm saying? So we got Next Gen. Yo, I'm glad he was able to rock out. We're gonna have a good time. Yo, you know, so bring your Percocets and whatever drugs you do, because it's gonna be a crazy time. You know, with Mr. Diabetic Gaming himself. All right. Oh, so tune in for that this Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's right, Z. Next Gen 720. All right. But anyway, your only friend is YouTube Streets Porter Rock 77. Thank you so much for rocking out with the channel. Truly appreciate you guys. I will see you guys on Friday, and I'll drop a video or two throughout the week. But hey, really appreciate it. You know, you guys take care, and we are out of here. Peace.